What you call hell, he calls home. I'm Derek.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jack.
And this is Bad Movies,
Worst People.
Welcome back to our Rambothon.
Woo!
Last week we covered First Blood, which was a good movie. Don't yell at me. This week we get to talk about Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Part 2.
The stupidest namings ever. So, I mean, do you want to go through like the whole five real quick and what they're named?
So real quick, I guess I read Stallone. It was supposed to just be First Blood Part 2. Stallone wanted to change it to Rambo, so it could be like Rocky, where it's named after the titular character.
Sure.
And then it's also easier for naming conventions going forward, supposedly, but they didn't stick to that because we've got First Blood, Rambo: First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo, and then Rambo Last Blood.
Yep.
Or is it just Last Blood?
No, it's Rambo Last Blood.
Okay.
Almost pop, because that's like you said,
Rambo,
he's rocking it out now. It's insane. It's the stupidest naming since Microsoft made game systems.
There is another podcast I listened to, and one of the guys said he was going to introduce legislation if he was elected, where you have to put numbers in your movies, in your sequels.
Yeah.
I think he was specifically referring to Transformers, because he's like, I don't know if this is number 4, 5,
Just as
7.
dumb.
I don't know.
Just as dumb.
I mean, Fast and Furious did it right. Kind
No,
of.
they
except,
did not.
Except this last one.
No, well, they
They
hide
numbered
the
them.
numbers in them, though, because you have like The Fast and the Furious.
That's the first?
Too Fast, Too Furious. Sure.
There you go.
Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, no
Oh,
3.
That's right.
That's a
Then
Star
just
Wars story.
Fast and Furious.
Oh.
And then Fast 5, okay. And I don't know what the fuck 6 is called.
There's the Fast 7.
There's a Fast
Fast
and
7.
Ferocious, or
and then
Fast
the Fate
and...
of the Furious, because
Yeah.
8, get it? And I don't know 9, and then 10, Fast X, and then we got Fast XX and Fast Triple X.
And then the Fast and the Geriatric will be the final one, where it's like they got souped up wheelchairs.
Actually, the last one
Family
is
means everything.
The very last one is just Star Wars Episode 4. They're just completely in space.
It's Dom in the fucking Millennium Falcon.
He just replaces himself as Han Solo.
Made the Kessel run in some amount of parsecs.
Michelle
Does that make...
Rodriguez.
I was like, is she Chewy?
No. She would be Leia because she's all drunk and she's like, I love you. She's sober now. And then he's like, no. I don't know why he's Rambo, but he kind of is.
Yeah, he kind of is. Like, I would put money down that Vin Diesel's got these like in memory. You know, all three
yes.
Rambos. Like, those were ones he grew up like, man, look how badass this guy is.
You know what inspired me to make Triple X? Rambo 4. Sorry, just Rambo.
Here's a fun fact that I would like...
Sorry, just Rambo.
Here's a fun fact I'd like to say about this one. Do you know who sang the closing song?
For number 2?
Yeah.
Is it Frank Stallone?
It is Frank
Holy
Stallone.
shit, that's awesome.
The song
Yeah.
started and I was like, this is a Frank Stallone song.
Because there's a really cheesy song that ends number 3, which we'll get
is
to
not
much
Frank
later.
Stallone.
Yeah. But I was like, is this Frank Stallone? And I held up my phone. And as I was waiting for that result, I thought, if it's Frank Stallone, I'm not going to be able to take it.
Well, and it's even the one at the end of 3 is even called "He's Not Heavy, He's My Brother," which is about like war, I would assume, by the title.
Yeah.
But it's like that would have been perfect.
Yep. Frank Stallone, people.
Yeah, give it to him.
So this one, Rambo: First Blood Part 2, came out in 1985, the glorious year that I was brought upon you people.
Yes. I was 4.
3.
It's surprisingly rated R. Directed by George P. Cosmatos, who, big news for everybody here.
Uh-oh.
He's directed some other movies.
Ooh.
One won't surprise anybody here, Cobra,
Okay.
Stallone, right?
Yeah.
The other one would be Tombstone.
Oh.
What?
Wait, now is he the director that quit or the director that came and took over?
I don't know.
Because I know Kurt Russell had to come in and save that. Come in, he was there. He had to save that movie, and
Okay,
it's known
see, I
as
didn't
his
know about
movie.
that. So, like,
Yeah.
I just saw under his credits Tombstone.
I
and
wonder
was
if
like, I'll
he's
be
the one that
damned.
walked out on it.
It might be.
I could see... I'm sorry, that was my boob.
That's fine.
It's an early boob.
It's
boob
an
bump.
early boob.
early nerp alert.
That's the new shirt. Boob bump. Just a microphone across the boobs.
Tank tops only.
Oh yeah. I can dig it.
He is
Ooh,
the
mesh.
Only for the men, though.
I almost got you a mesh shirt when we were in Colorado. Derek said he won't wear it. And
I would have
was
worn it here.
It doesn't have enough pockets. You wear it because it's so warm.
No, I'd make you guys look at what you've done.
Mental
Look at
note:
what you've
buy
done.
Jack a mesh shirt for his birthday.
Do you
You're
see?
an extra small, right?
Yeah, extra small, especially in the gut region.
Well, if it's mesh, it doesn't matter.
God, it's gonna look like baloney trying to get out.
I was gonna do hot pink.
Oh yeah, you have to. Hot pink or white.
The one was white, and I was like, "Oh my god, this would have been perfect." Should have done it.
This guy is the father of another director who I don't know if anybody else here know or care, but I do. Panos Cosmatos, who has directed a few things. One I'm probably the only person who's seen, which is Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has a very 80s neon synth kind of vibe to his movies. The other
Okay.
one he did was
That's up your
Mandy
alley.
with Nick Cage. You
Was
see
which one?
Mandy with Nick Cage.
Nope.
Awesome movie. Watch that.
I've
Nick
he-
Cage chainsaw, good stuff.
I've heard of it. I don't know if I've actually seen it, but Mike tells me I need to see it.
Oh, it's awesome. And then
Don't
he
touch that
directed.
dial.
Yeah, he directed one of the episodes of Cabinet of Curiosities, Guillermo del Toro's Netflix series. The one called The Viewing, which is the one with Peter Weller.
Oh,
did you watch any
shit.
of that?
No, I did not.
Oh my god! If you don't watch any of them, which most of them are pretty cool, but if you don't watch any of them, watch that one. Peter Weller plays this weird like hippie cult kind of guy, and he
Peter
invites-
Weller, is that RoboCop?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he invites over all these people who are all actors and actresses you would recognize. They're mostly character actors, comedy people and stuff. And they basically do a bunch of drugs and try to open this weird artifact that he found. And it's just a whole trippy 80s neon synth vibe.
Oh, very
Peter
cool.
Weller's also in this one movie Derek had me watch with him, and it's
Buckaroo.
fucking weird.
Naked
With a-
Lunch.
Is that the bug spray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Cronenberg's Naked Lunch.
Yeah, there you
Based
go.
on, fuck, now I'm going to sound like an idiot because I can't remember the name of the writer.
You do sound like an idiot.
I'm a fucking moron.
It's not like we can't edit this out.
No, this is all one take, guys.
One take. We're a
ruin
live
Don't ruin
broadcast.
the illusion there.
It doesn't matter. Some a weird, like one of those beat writer kind of guys from back in the day that was like Jack Kerouac and those guys.
Okay.
William S. Burroughs. Thank you to me.
Thank you to myself.
But yeah, Peter Weller's in that also. Fucking weird movie. He's also in a movie that we will be doing coming up here called Shakedown.
Okay.
With Sam Neill.
I've heard so much about needing to watch Shakedown.
Yeah,
You had me at Sam Neill.
Yeah, I bought it sight unseen from Shout Factory
Yes,
because
that's
the
right.
cover has Sam Neill with like glorious long hair and his mustache, of course, on like a motorcycle, and then like straight lace cop Peter Weller in the background.
Are you
with,
thinking
like,
Sam
glasses.
Elliott?
Sorry, Sam Elliott. You
Okay.
know what I meant.
Ooh.
Well, no, I thought you meant Sam Neill.
I
New
was-
Zealander from Jurassic
I've
Park.
been thinking about Jurassic Park.
And then I thought of him with a mustache, which excited me.
And long
No,
hair.
I
and
thought
I was
Sam
I've
like,
never
Elliott. I'm a
seen him
bad
with a
person.
mustache.
Yeah.
But no, this sounds good too. This sounds like a precursor to who
The
is
dude?
it that's in Renegade? Is that Lorenzo Lamas?
Lorenzo
Yes.
Lamas, yes.
His
Renegade
daughter.
is on Peacock. I just discovered it recently, and I'm going to watch it all.
Okay.
Maybe by myself.
Yeah, maybe not.
maybe not.
You got a friend in me.
I'd heard
Oh,
of it
God.
before, and I saw it on Peacock, and I clicked it, and immediately I was like, "I'm watching this."
Yeah.
I didn't even watch a trailer.
I
or
grew up
anything.
watching it. Like that was a classic of your boys.
Wasn't his daughter? She was in something, and she was like
The
famous.
Rambo 2?
No.
I didn't think so. Get off of it. Just kidding.
I'm sorry. No, I want to say she was a playmate or something because she kept
Lorenzo
talking
Lamas'
about
daughter?
it. I think
Huh.
so. Maybe I'm just dumb. I don't know.
Maybe
That's
she's just a llama.
she's a llama. No, I remember watching something with her. She was on a reality show, and she's like, "Yeah, my dad was, the renegade. Like that is my dad." And that was like, I guess him.
If I knew he had a hot daughter, I would have tried to pursue her.
Was it a show written by James Cameron?
I don't know, honey. I
Okay,
did
because
not
this
pay
movie
attention
was
to that
written
bullshit.
by James Cameron.
This was a
and
sh-
Sylvester Stallone.
This was a shocker, though. By the way, like I knew that it was Stallone, but I had no fucking.
Yeah,
clue
Derek saw that,
This
and
was
he's
James
like,
Cameron.
"What?"
I've loved this movie most of my life, if not all of it.
So concurrently, like all at the same time, he was writing Terminator, this, and something else I can't remember. And
Abyss.
the
maybe?
thing I had read, it might have been I think it was something. It was Alien.
Oh,
or
okay.
Aliens. he apparently had 3 different desks that he did all the work at, so he wouldn't he's like, I sit at this desk, I'm working on this movie.
What an absolute Chad. Like, just fucking writing 3 phenomenal movies.
So apparently the original version of his script, like he's said over the years that he had basically nothing to do with this movie. He wrote the first draft, which became some of the action in this movie, or and some of the background, but like that's it. Like Stallone changed everything.
Yeah.
Apparently he originally had him paired with a humorous, like techie sidekick that would go with him, who was supposed to be played by John Travolta. Like they're in Staying Alive together, right?
Yes, they are.
Yes, so it was right after that. Now it's part of the reason.
I didn't know
Rambo.
Sylvester Stallone was in Staying Alive.
Yeah, not Saturday Night Fever, the bad sequel.
Oh,
The first one that's bad as well. No, but whole different levels of bad.
Bad. I had to watch it in like when I was in film school, and I was like, I don't want to watch this fucking stupid movie.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, that's actually
It's better than I thought, but I don't want to watch it again.
No, I won't.
It's not on your fucking shelf of DVDs, sir.
Exactly.
And this is a pretty open what do you call it, guest list to these shelves.
Yeah, you mean like these shot on video movies from the 80s, like Justice Ninja style, and also Citizen Kane on 4K? Yeah.
You got room for Miami Connection, but you got no fucking room for Staying Alive. I love
Zero.
it.
Staying Alive we might have to watch because it's terrible, but I don't want to. So maybe not. I make most of these decisions. Well, I love how I'm like, I have to watch this for the show. And I'm like, no, we don't. I decided this.
Yeah, I made me do this.
So yeah, he was paired with Travolta. But he,
Mr.
obviously,
Cocktail.
Stallone was basically like, no, it's better if I'm by myself, a lone wolf. Da, da, da.
They're going to start looking at him instead of looking at me. But this makes
he
sense,
also
though.
didn't like that the sidekick got all the cool dialogue because he's like the
zippy
quippy,
one-liners.
Yeah.
But this makes sense, though, because at one point that we're going to get to, they talk about pushing technology on him.
Yeah.
And it ends up just being a camera, by the way.
Oh, and at the beginning, when they're like, you're going to have all this technology you need, and he just drops it all out of the plane.
Yep. Yep. So that was him dropping John Travolta out of the plane.
And
like script-wise.
Another thing which makes sense being Cameron is that there's a lot more background in his version. All the POWs had like backstories that were going to be revealed throughout the movie and all this stuff. And apparently he was quoted as saying, like, because all that stuff pretty much got taken out, he said, well, they might as well have just been going to the jungle to pick up a six-pack.
Yep.
That's
a
pretty much
six-pack of POWs.
right?
So that's fun. This is the only Rambo film nominated for an Oscar.
Okay.
Best effects. So
Okay.
The effects are amazing.
yeah.
Except I do have an issue with one.
Okay.
The sound effects.
Yeah, the
Foley.
the Foley.
Oh, okay.
Every time an arrow launches, it sounds like a pistol ricocheting.
It is a voracious noise. It is
And, like,
sharp.
There's some
Literally,
good stuff,
he
but
says
yeah.
arrows because it's quiet. Ba-ching!
Yeah, arrows are silent.
Well, let me tell you this: they're not if you put explosive rocket tips on them.
I guess this
Oh, that
was
last arrow.
post all 3 Star Wars movies. He was like, my arrows need to sound like lasers.
Hey, by the way, it's still an RPG because it's a Rambo propelled grenade.
Oh,
I don't need a rocket. I got arms.
check out these guns.
in the background interview we watched, he very poignantly pointed out that he says, I don't see Rambo as a violent movie. It's just a movie about war. It's not gratuitous.
Yes,
And then
it is.
That's immediately followed by me watching this Blu-ray that I have where the
bodies
opening
hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Oh, God.
the opening trailer is for Rambo. Parentheses 4.
All
And
day.
it's just the drowning pool song, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor, while he murders like East Asian people.
Another jungle.
He is.
There is no storyline in the trailer. It just says like soldier, outlaw, machine, and he mows people down. But don't worry, it's not gratuitously violent.
I got a better song for it. It should have been Here I Go Again on Stallone.
Ooh, do it.
Okay, so the original film, First Blood, had Rambo. We've had a debate about this, but technically killed 0 people.
Yes, the body
Maybe
count
1.
is I think officially 0.
I think it's 0.
Yes, officially it's 0, but again, there's debate, right?
Everyone
Did he-
died from complications like a month later.
And
I
at
mean,
their own fault, by the
Well,
way.
that one guy that fell out of
Oh.
the helicopter because he didn't put on his seat, or he took off his seatbelt.
Yeah.
And made sure to show that. But still, technically 0.
You could put that one on Isaac Newton, really.
Fucking shouldn't have invented
Should
gravity.
have been gravity. Thanks a lot, asshole. I could
This
have been
movie,
flying.
on the other hand, Rambo kills 74 people.
Okay. I wanted to do a count for it, but it was so fast.
Oh yeah, I had to internet this.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Because sometimes I'm like, how many people were in that helicopter?
Yeah.
I asked,
How
I
many
was
people
like,
were in that room?
And I found numbers ranging from 60 to 80, but generally it seems like 74, 75 is
Yeah.
the agreed upon. There's also one real life fatality for this movie. A stuntman named Cliff Winger Jr. died in an explosion.
Oh, man.
They dedicate the movie to him.
Do we know which explosion?
I didn't say. It just said
Okay.
it an explosion. It said an explosion at the end of the movie, so I'm assuming during all when they're
The
he's
actual
exploding the village
pandemonium.
and stuff.
oh yeah.
Killing just destroying these innocent people's homes.
Yep.
So he can.
Oh, they shouldn't have been there.
I do want to point
America.
out they do say when they're giving his stats at the beginning, he has 59 confirmed kills when he was in Vietnam. So that means that in this 2-day escapade, he killed 15 more people than he killed in his entirety in Vietnam.
And wait till we get to number 3, because these are rookie numbers he's putting up in number 2.
yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
I don't want to give that number on this episode.
No, absolutely
Tune
not.
in next time.
Yeah, tune in next week. No, I'm just saying it gets, and we'll have to get ready for 4 and 5 because I don't remember I know there's a part in 4 that's bloody as fuck.
I know in one of them, I think it maybe is 4. There's like 250 some odd deaths.
That's probably 4.
Yeah.
And holy shit.
But we're not talking about that right now, remember?
no, but it's
No.
awesome.
But this guy has killed more like the Vietnamese than the war did.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Dude, the squib work on this one, balls amazing.
The blood
yeah.
looks so good in every one of these Rambos.
Yes,
like
it
again, here we are
does.
talking about not a bad movie.
Yeah.
So before we haven't even gotten to the plot yet because it's not that big of a deal in my
I guess we
opinion.
could technically just say it's like a schlock and load.
Schlock and load. And that's what I was
Yeah.
talking about when I was watching it with Bleep and Bleep. It's like the first one is such a good movie that you can't really do a true sequel to it.
No.
Because America doesn't want to see another heartbroken vet. We did it. It was great. It was awesome. But what part sold the best? Him, mostly shirtless, going to town with that fucking gun on the sheriff's station.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, fuck yeah, that's Rambo. That's my Rambo.
Yeah, and then that's another behind the scenes things they said. I think it was on this one where they're like, people were cheering during all this like mayhem and murder, and they're like, that's kind of not really what we expected.
Yeah.
So that's what we just went with.
It's supposed to be a powerful moment about this guy snapping, and everyone's like, no, it's cool.
I do have to say though,
They deserved it.
they had the message in
did.
the first movie, which was a good message. You need to pay attention to the returning soldiers. You need to stop treating them like shit. They're human beings, and they did what we told them to do, et cetera, et cetera. This one tries to continue that message, but in the most
It
like
falls.
ham-fisted, ham and cheese, ham-fisted, cheesy bullshit dialogue. Because
Yeah.
at the end, he's just like, I wish they would just like me. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And it's like so
I just
bad.
want my country to love me as much as I love it. Ends with, I'm going to get right to the end. It ends with a fucking freeze frame walk away.
Yeah.
Like that is not First Blood. That
Yeah.
is Rambo.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
changed gears completely. Again, I like it. I might be coming off angry right now, but I like this movie a lot. It's just very different.
You can tell just on the opening. I think I even mentioned it to you when we were watching it. Just on the opening scene in First Blood, it's somber. It's natural light, so it gives that like bluish hue, and it's overcast
You hear
or
the
whatever.
Hulk walkaway music.
Yeah. And this one, it's immediately brutal sun, bright in your
the very
face.
first shot is an explosion.
Yeah. Like you.
Oh yeah, they're setting tones here.
Yeah, so
I gotta
it's-
point out though, when this guy's because he's working at a rock quarry is what he's at. His shoulders look like boulders. He
They
got
do.
so much bigger
Yeah.
for this
He
movie.
did. He had to. He had to bulk the fuck out.
It's insane how big he got though.
But they do point out, he does say, hey, you just spent some time. I think, what was it? He was supposed to have
3 years.
It's a
he
total
was-
of 8.
He spent
they
3?
They don't mention it in the movie at all, but apparently it's in the original script, like as a note, which is helpful.
Yeah.
That he was sentenced to 8 years hard labor for
Okay.
what happened in the first movie.
They do
and
say he has
served
5
3.
years left, so
Yeah.
I guess we're supposed
Which
to just not give a shit about
falls
this.
in line timeline wise. It it is 3 years later.
At least the first 3 fall into their actual time frames. So like this is 3 years after the first movie, and it takes place 3 years after the first movie. The next one is 3 years later, and it takes
Okay.
place 3 years later.
So they're keeping it cool hand Luke now.
And they do that nice little segue, like, hey, we need you to. There's thought that there's POWs, like.
Who is it that comes up? It's Richard
It's-
Crenna and
It's just Richard Crenna.
It's just
okay,
Troutman.
yeah,
just
see, I knew this
Troutman.
was going to happen if we watched 2 of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
the third
but
one has
so
another
Crenna's
guy.
telling him that there's POWs and they want you to go do your thing, your Rambo.
They want him to do recon.
Yeah, just recon.
Here comes the technology talk.
Yeah.
Oh man, these
at
bags
first-
of cameras are heavy, Mr. Carter.
At first,
It's my John Travolta, by the way.
No, that was spot on.
at first, this is them trying to bring back that thing from the first movie again. He's like, I don't want to go. And I was like, well, would you want to just stay in here? At least in here, I know where I stand.
Yeah.
You know, it's just harping on that thing, which
But we'll
didn't change. Obviously, we did still keep treating coming home soldiers like shit, but it's just, again, not effective in this movie.
But then they're like, we'll take those 5 years off.
Yep.
Do we get to win this time? Oh, that's another line.
This poor fucking guy. Just let him be
He is
in
so,
this rock quarry.
Like, in this movie, it's almost more he is almost more depressing than the first movie. Because like, yes, he's murdering all these people and stuff, but it's like he's just on autopilot. He's like, I guess this is all I'm good for.
Yeah.
I guess
Send
this
me
is
in,
me
coach.
now.
I'm ready to play today.
You mentioned how the lighting looks different and stuff. The original one was shot in Vancouver, and it's supposed to be Washington, so it's the Pacific Northwest. This was shot in Thailand and Mexico, so this is Mexico, presumably.
Yeah.
A
I
lot
think
of
this one is
Mexico,
Mexico.
and they had some complications with shooting.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of the stuff, like they were in Thailand for a lot of the jungle stuff, but then they moved to Mexico for most of the jungle stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
there
for
are-
like the explosions and shit?
Well, not just that, a lot of it, just because there was troubles with Thailand, and so they went to Mexico, and then
Oh,
apparently,
didn't they plant like rice patties and stuff?
yeah, the director was saying they actually planted rice paddies in Mexico to like a couple months ahead of shooting, so
Yeah.
they would have the rice paddies for those scenes.
Nice.
Yeah, they thought ahead, man.
But yeah, they were like greasing palms to get things going. Like at one point, I think it was what's his name? Charles Napier, who plays Murdoch,
Okay.
was saying that some general was like, you need to come and have drinks with me. Like, you and Stallone need to come and have drinks with me. And they were like, well, we can't. We're shooting today. And he's like, well, you can come and have drinks with me, or these helicopters can't come into Mexico. So
Yeah.
like just shit like that.
You think you're shooting now? Wait till I start shooting. You're not going to like how that goes.
No.
So at the very beginning of the movie, again, he gets recruited. He goes to this base, and the first thing we see is John Kreese.
Yeah. Sweep the leg.
Yeah.
I saw him immediately, like from even just the helicopter view. I saw the hair and I was like, oh my God, Cobra Kai.
Which is so
Yep.
close to being in line also with Karate Kid that I was like, this could be the same
This
guy.
is his origin story.
Because
Yeah.
he was in Vietnam, but this is 1 year after Karate Kid, not Cobra. It's many years before Cobra Kai. It's 1 year after Karate Kid, because I was like, it's almost lined up. This could
Yeah.
be, but it's fine. He's still in Vietnam.
It's still in my head though.
Yeah.
This
Martin
is
Cove,
his. This is
sorry,
his.
is the real actor.
This is his twin brother.
Martin Cove is the real actor, not John Kreese.
John Kreese in my mind.
That's fine.
gonna keep
John
calling
Kreese in
that.
my mind too.
All right.
And
You're
he's got
always
it's
John
great.
Kreese in my
He's got a sad
mind.
face button
Yeah.
on his jacket. I don't know if anybody noticed that. That
I
was fun.
did, because it reminded me of Joker from Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
Same
exactly.
fucking thought too. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's that peace sign on Joker's fucking helmet.
Yep.
Yep. God, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
Should
that's a
watch
gr-
that
well.
instead.
First half's a great movie.
No, all three parts are a great movie. I guess it's only two parts. The third part's in the book. All three parts are a great movie. The second movie is just really depressing.
Yeah, it's a very different movie. Should have chopped that up.
I mean,
and
the
called it a
first movie is
sequel.
pretty depressing. We're saying movie, guys. I don't know if you haven't seen it, you should see it. But it's basically two different movies glued together.
It is.
And they're both actually really depressing.
They are very depressing. Just that you get to see Vincent D'Onofrio in the first part,
Yes.
and he is fucking terrific.
Yeah.
Dude, he's.
That might have been my introduction to old Vinny D.
I'm sure it was mine. Him and Arlie Irby.
Oh yeah.
God,
God, I wish Arlie Emery was in this one.
Yeah.
I can't
That'd be
picture
great.
him. Who's that?
He's a drill instructor.
He's the guy that
one of
yells.
the steers and queers come
Yeah.
from Texas.
And
He always plays a guy who yells.
Well, he was a military guy. He was supposed to be the consultant on that set, is what the word is.
Yeah.
And whoever was doing it wasn't doing it well enough, and they're like, just get up there and start shooting
Yeah,
shit.
he was basically like, "You're doing it wrong," and he's doing his shit, and then like Stanley Kubrick's like, "You just do it."
Yeah, fuck it.
You get a paycheck, sir.
But anyway, but it's funny because we're not talking about this movie, and it's not because it's bad.
No, it's just
It's-
there's fun segue.
Yeah, it's just because
Not
we're
the kind
excited
you ride
about
on.
this
Those
movie.
aren't fun. That's how you die.
It's not like the other ones where we're trying to avoid it. It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, yeah.
distracted.
Yeah. So he gets
ADD.
into the bleep bloop command center here, which I
Yeep.
call that because it's literally just going beep boop beep boop.
There are
beep,
beeps
boop,
and
beep, boop.
bloops all
There-
over.
Walls of computers and radio.
It
and
looks like
Guys
the-
arbitrarily turning knobs.
It looks like the deck from like the original Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's the fakest looking computers. With just big,
How
bright
come these
lights
guys
on them
weren't
and-
in like just onesie jumpsuits?
They were pretty
around in
close.
space
Damn you,
pajamas.
military.
Yeah, so they tell him it's recon only. Do not engage, which you know he's going to listen to.
Oh yeah, this is
He even looks at Troutman like,
He gives him a hard wink. He doesn't,
Yeah.
but you might as well.
He did the mental
I'm
wink.
not going to go in there. Wink. Did you just say wink? No. Wink.
Dude, Troutman is just looking at him like, that's not gonna happen.
And they even
I
show
did- I
putting
did
35
mention-
millimeter in the camera.
I did mention Charles Napier playing Murdoch. He's basically the douchebag of the movie.
So it took me a second to figure out how I knew him, and I did this thing where I'm like, I can see him with the cowboy hat. He runs the honky tonk for Blues Brothers.
Yes, he's in Blues
where they
Brothers.
sing Rawhide. That's the only thing I really
He's
know
in
him from.
Silence of the Lambs. Not a big part. But
Okay, maybe that's
he's
why
one of
I'm
those guys
blanking
where,
on
like,
that.
if you go through his IMDb, you'll be like, I probably saw him in that. I
Yep.
probably saw him in that.
Yep.
He's been acting for a very long time. Obviously, he's already gray in this.
Plays a good, I guess we're going to call him CIA. Or
Yeah, some
bureaucrat.
kind of-
He's a bureaucrat.
Yeah, he's
but
a bureaucrat.
He keeps
some
getting
kind
called.
of agency person.
Some man of agents.
And he tells Rambo, which will never work, forget the war, remember the mission.
Yep.
Rambo's like, you say war? And he just starts shooting people. No, I'm just kidding.
Movie over.
Oh, and he also mentions, like, do you think he's still unbalanced from the war? And Troutman's like, yeah, he's fine.
Hey, come on, guys.
Fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
Nothing bad can happen. And this is where we get how I opened the episode. As Rambo walks away into the loneliness of going to a helicopter, I guess, or a plane. Sorry, he has a
Yeah.
pretty sweet
Well, he's
little
about to go
plane.
gear up.
Yeah,
Which is
but he's got his gear up.
We'll get to the
montage.
gear up.
But that's when he
montage.
says, "What you call hell, he calls home." So he loves Vietnam.
He's fine there.
As long as you can murder people, it's home.
His
He's
gear
in his
up
element.
His gear up is great, by the way, because you see him the close up shots of shoving that knife in the sheath.
Yeah.
Putting his belt
sharpen
on.
it.
But he had those two little. I'm making a pantomime. He had two little blades that he shows tucking inside of his belt. Those come back.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Normally in like a big gear montage.
Rambo's
it's like,
Ricochet?
oh, hey, Rambo's Ricochet.
That's what I was thinking. It doesn't have to be alliteration though. It can just be Rambo's daggers.
All right.
Fine.
Because it's like Chekhov's gun.
wanna
It's
just-
still a weapon.
Just want to ruin our fun. That's fine too.
It doesn't ricochet.
Rambo's rope.
Rambo's.
Remington. Rambo's rim job. It can be a weapon if you do it right.
Right.
My note did say muscles and knife.
Yeah, yeah. This is what we want. This is what we want from this movie: is muscles and knives. But yeah,
And
I
we
just
get it.
I hate when a big gear up montage is like, he didn't use half that shit.
He
just
uses
on-
these all.
He is like a Native American with a bison. He's using every fucking piece of weapon.
Yes,
I
he
love it.
is.
I love it because he puts all these weapons on himself in various places, and then he takes the bag they gave him with other gear. But all he ends up using is his weapons because, he, like I said, he ditches that other bag.
He ditches. Don't call John Travolta a bag.
Dude, that's great.
No, I hurt my feelings,
he's jumping
man.
out of the plane. John Travolta gets stuck on him. He just cuts him off.
There's some dead weight around here. Oh no.
Oh, and he does reveal that he knows that Murdoch lied about his war experience because Murdoch says he was in the something in this
He
certain
said the
region.
66th division was, I was there when they were at this place. And
Yeah.
Rambo, right before he gets on the plane, says to Troutman, the 66 wasn't there. They were over here. You're the only one I trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom.
And which comes back in about 4 minutes when Murdoch is like, well, fuck him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mission over.
You weren't a good guy? I didn't see that coming.
No.
Aw.
So he
like a
goes to
blind
dive
porn
out of
star.
the plane, which is like it's like a little like Gulf Stream, like it's like a
It's just-
private jet. It's not like a military vehicle. This
Are
is
you
like,
sure? It looked like a little military.
It looks like what you would have as like a private jet, but it's
Well,
just
and we also
painted black.
talking about this guy being some form of operative. He's
Yeah.
probably not, because it can't be official, so you wouldn't have a big
True.
cargo thing, America flag all over
Yeah.
it, dropping them. You got to get something.
It just doesn't look like a military plane. But
think
either
that's the
way,
point.
I mean, it's,
that. Yeah, that is
That's-
the
that's
point
the
because
point.
they don't want to
More
get
sleek, you can
spotted.
fly
Yeah.
low. It doesn't make a bunch of noise.
I would have painted mine like a duck,
Quack quack.
just in case they're like, "Oh, is that a plane?" No, it's a really big duck. Carry on. Got him.
As soon as he jumps out of the plane, he gets caught on something.
Yeah, which kind of confused me. I didn't understand
Okay, so
what
that
got
ripcord
caught.
is attached to. It's a parachute attached to the cord, attached to a cable in the plane. So that way, as soon as you jump out, parachute deploys.
Right.
Right, I
That's
saw
what's
him put the
supposed to
cable on,
happen.
but then when he jumps, it's like
It got
a loop
caught on the
his
latch.
bag or something got caught on the side.
I think that's just filming. I think it's supposed to be his parachute
but it
ripcord.
didn't like
Oh.
Yeah, it's
It got caught on the latch
something.
on the door instead of unhooking and going.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
But
like
at this
20
point, you got him
seconds-
dangling, and
Yeah.
fucking old Murdoch. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Murdoch.
Murdoch's like, "Yep, take off.
Just turn
well,
around.
He's already like, abort the mission. And John Kreese is like, no, we can't. Like, if we fly with him, he'll die. He'll get shredded to pieces. And Murdoch's like, yeah, no, it's fine.
Murdoch
Abort,
goes,
abort the mission.
What about that order did you not understand?
Yeah.
Sweep the leg.
This is where he learned it. Right?
Yeah.
He gets it, then he time travels.
Yeah.
So he cuts all his shit off, all of his gear that he needed, and then he parachutes down. He's still got the parachute on. When
He's
gets
got
away,
all
it
his
opens.
stuff.
Yeah. He
He
got
has-
rid of the gear they gave him.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a thing. I didn't realize. I thought maybe he had stuff in the bag. I was like, okay, because don't think I've actually seen this one before.
Oh, really?
I know I've seen 3. I don't think I've ever seen this one. So I thought it was going to be a thing where he's like, okay, now I got to retrace my steps to get my gear, like it was his weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Somehow he still got his bow and stuff, which I know he
so
built.
Because it was on
bow-
his back still.
Yeah, that bow breaks down pretty small.
Okay.
And you got to put it together, a little Allen
It goes
wrench
into the
and-
quiver and all of
Yeah.
that stuff.
The first thing we see after he lands is a snake coming at him out of the tree, and I thought he was
Hard
going to
target.
Van Damme the
I
snake.
thought
yeah.
this was hard target all over again, dude. He grabs it and knocks it out. But this is how I knew the movie was going to be a little goofy already. You know,
Was he
like he
just
just
like,
grabs
"Urgh."
that snake and just kind of intimidates it and lets it go and walks away.
Go on, get.
And go, it's my land. America.
You didn't do anything to my people.
And then he's like Raiden stalking him through the jungle here.
Uh-huh.
So he's supposed to meet with an indigenous contact. I put hard quotes around that nobody else could see, but maybe you could hear when I said indigenous. Because this girl, and not to sound racist, but
No,
she
she's
does
a-
not look Vietnamese at all.
Well, she's a British chick that was born in
She's
Something
born in
Nixon.
Singapore.
Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah,
And raised in England.
Yeah, Julia Nixon.
Gorgeous, by the way.
But she has I thought she had green eyes.
They're
Later on, they
hazel.
look kind of brown. So yeah, I think they're like hazel, which is, there's a whole movie about it called Big Trouble in Little China.
Green-eyed Asian chick, man. It's quite rare.
But
David
anyway,
Lopan's on his way.
You know, of course, he has to be teamed up with like a beautiful woman. Also, this was her first film role.
Okay.
But she was in other movies that we will probably be talking about. One we will for sure. One is coming up
Is
in
she
August.
Golden Child?
No, that was a
No.
boy.
No, she wasn't.
Well, I know
Golden
that's
Child.
a-
no,
no,
she's
no.
not the Golden Child.
Not
Oh.
the Golden Child. Sorry.
Well, she's in Double Dragon.
Okay.
She's in, but the one we're going to be doing already on the docket that she's in is Sidekicks.
Oh.
She's
Oh,
Jonathan
she's-
Brandis' teacher.
Yes, absolutely.
That he's like
she
obsessed
is.
with, and he's always putting into like weird like bondage situations. in
Uh-huh.
his
He has to
fantasies.
rescue her,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's got a good imagination, that kid.
So after thinking about it, like because I listened to past episodes, I think I have seen Sidekicks with Chuck. It's with Carlos Norris.
Carlos
right?
Norris. Absolutely.
And Jonathan Brandis wants to like be his sidekick or whatever.
Yeah,
and
he
Chuck
has
is like,
daydreams
always
about
Go
it.
away
daydreaming
and-
yeah.
I mean, it's actually it borderlines on like schizophrenic, but we can
Yeah.
talk about that.
yeah.
a whole
we'll
nother
talk about it when we
episode.
get to
Oh,
that
yeah.
episode. But I mean, yeah, his best friend is a real person who lives inside of his head, who he ends up teaming up with, but maybe he doesn't. Who knows?
We
But,
don't know. It could be a Jacob's Ladder situation. That kid died at the very beginning of that movie.
a dick of platters.
Jacob's Ladder.
From now on, it's a Dick of Platter
Could be a Dick of
situation.
Platter situation.
You know, Derek, I think we walked ourselves into a Dick of Platter situation here.
Wait, are you saying I walked off a cliff and my whole life is a dream?
That's fantastic.
Oh, that's too good.
So they're on this patrol boat. These pirates are helping them, who Stallone
The captain
immediately doesn't trust.
The captain has his shirt tied up in the front like a fucking college cheerleader or something.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's just slamming bottles of J&B like fucking
Terrific.
Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can
Speaking of Big Trouble, that's not where he's slamming the J&B.
Are we
but
talking about
The
Captain
Thing.
Ron?
I was talking about The Thing.
can we talk
I'm always
about
thinking
this
about his thing.
gate for a second? That this.
Well, they got there, yeah,
Oh.
but we can talk about it.
I,
Because this is on the boat first.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we're on
Where
the boat.
not one person has the correct fitting sandals. It was bugging the shit out of me. I was like, all your feet are just going right over those. Your toes are just like curling.
how do you
in.
hold on to them?
Straps. Straps, Whitney.
They reveal, like, they have all these weapons. He's like, what if you get boarded or whatever? And there's like rocket launchers
Yeah.
and shit that are all Russian because historically the
Russia.
Russians helped the Vietnamese, the Viet Cong against us when we were helping the South Vietnamese, which comes back in number 3.
Yes, it does.
Also came back in real life because that's what we tried to
So
do in
number 3.
Afghanistan and whatever.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of big major powers funding little smaller countries for their own
And
benefit.
we can control you. Like, look, we're helping Afghanistan out of the goodness of our heart. It has nothing to do with opium.
Yep, nothing to do with opium.
Yeah.
No spice here.
It's all just to help those poor women. If only.
Yeah. We just want the women to not be oppressed, so we're going to help the Taliban get into power. We'll talk about that next episode. So, yeah, she's asking him why he quit the army and why he's not a soldier.
The army quit
or
me.
why he doesn't want to go home or something.
The
And he's like,
army quit me.
there was a war at home. There was a war against returning soldiers. Just bringing it back for like the fourth time in the last 20
We
minutes.
get it, dude.
Yeah, no,
We
get it.
we
saw
watched the first
movie.
one.
And I was very moved. And now I'm sitting here going, kind of wish that guy would have shot you in the first one.
Yeah.
But then we would, I mean, I was going to say we wouldn't get all these great deaths and explosions, but we would. He would have just found another way to do it. We
Yeah.
would have gotten a Cobra 2, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or
Cobra.
Karate Kid 4, where Stallone takes the kids to Vietnam to train. Real weird one.
Look, I got to get you away from John Kreese. He tried to fuck me over in Vietnam.
Look eye, Daniel-son. Always look eye. Whack on, whack off. I don't think you're saying it right. That's how I was told.
And he's got all these great like philosophical lines that are stupid. So I wrote down a lot of them. Like, to survive the war, you have to become the war.
That's not that deep. It just sounds cool.
Yeah. Do you like to fight? That's a terrible accent she did, not me.
Yeah.
No, I'm expendable.
Oh, we're
he
gonna
said
get
it
that.
in the future.
Yeah.
He was doing that line. He's like, ooh, we're getting the band back together.
Did you see the trailer for Expendables 4?
Looks
or
awful.
Exfordables?
It looks awful.
Did you see the way they wrote it? They replaced the A with the 4.
Well, I don't understand.
It's Exfordables.
Every movie they've added somebody pretty actiony. Like
Yeah.
number 2, they added Van Damme just off the top of my head. This one adds Curtis 50 Cent.
Yeah, you know, because he's
Big
actually-
action star 50 Cent.
He's surprisingly been in a lot of action movies. They're just all direct to DVD, and you've never seen them.
That's right. I've never seen one
direct
of
to
them.
bootleg DVD.
It's because he's
direct
actually
to
been shot
Tubi.
50
By the way, I
times.
hate that fucking trailer. I don't think I mentioned it last time. I think it's mentioned it came out maybe, but I hate that fucking trailer. Like I'm probably gonna watch it, but like the first 40 seconds of the trailer is the entire scene with Jason Statham and his girlfriend fucking.
Oh, Megan Fox.
Is it Megan Fox?
Are we talking about Crank?
Pretty sure.
Kind of. The whole 40 seconds is like it's like the whole scene from the movie, presumably,
Yeah.
just with like any of the actual like
Where
sexual
they're doing,
parts
where they're
cut
doing the
out.
fuck fighting.
Yeah, and they fuck fight for like 40 seconds.
Oh.
And then someone knocks on his door. It's not Stallone, I don't think.
It's Stan Lee dressed as a mailman.
Okay. So Stan Lee knocks on his door and he's like, "We need you, mighty Marvelite."
Excelsior.
But like, and then the trailer starts. I'm like, why was the trailer the first scene of the movie and then the trailer?
Because you got to show women that Jason Statham is going to be in this movie, and you got to show the men that
There's
Megan
gonna be
Fox
sex.
is going to be in this movie.
You can also do that by just showing the fucking trailer for the movie.
This is the fucking trailer. This is the trailer for fucking.
I still haven't seen any of them,
You're not missing
but I'll
out.
probably watch them all.
Yeah, they're cheeky. They're dumb.
I like this.
Let's have a couple of silver bullets about it.
I'm down.
Make it enjoyable.
So his knife brings him good luck. That's another great line.
Oh yeah, because her necklace brings her good luck.
That necklace brings
Yeah,
great
which
luck.
actually comes back in the next movie.
It does.
So Murdoch already is like, well, he died. Fuck him.
We
Yep.
tried.
And Troutman's like, well, you told him 36 hours. We should at least go and see if he's there and we can extract
No, that's
him.
a waste of time and gas and power and money and everything.
Nope,
No,
he's dead.
Also, I'm really tired. I kind of want to lay down.
I want to get out of this heat.
We didn't mention the whole point of this mission is that he's supposed to find out if there are POWs still in Vietnam, because it's basically a bureaucratic fuck all thing where they're like, they don't want to spend the money. They don't think anybody's there, but they're doing it as like a courtesy to
Get
the
people off their
families,
back.
so people shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, hey,
So
look, we took pictures. There was nobody there. What do you want us
Yeah,
to do?
exactly. And it turns out that like the camp he's sending him to was supposed to be empty. They knew it was supposed to be empty. They know there's POWs there, but they don't want to.
They know their
take the
movements.
time to get it. That all comes up too, I guess. And I don't know if this is true. I assume it is, that we were supposed to pay reparations to the VC,
4.5 million.
and then we didn't, and so they kept all the POWs.
yeah.
Like, cool. That's nice, I guess.
That sounds like us.
Ooh, America.
So this is where we have the gate without a fence. So
Yes.
he's breaking into this
Oh my
camp.
god.
And there's these soldiers at this gate, and this lady of the evening rides up on a
They
little
called her a
motorized-
bicycle girl or a cycle girl or
Cycle
something
girl.
like that.
Cycle girl is whore.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. She rides up on a little motorized bike, and like there's these guards at a gate, and they open the gate to let her in, but the whole like left side or right side, I guess, of the gate is just there's no fence. There
Yeah,
is
it's completely open.
There is the little guard booth, but there's just like there's
5
like a
feet.
10-foot gap between the guard booth and the gate.
Well, that's because it's supposed to be Vietnam. And they lined it with poisonous snakes.
Oh,
Like, hey,
okay.
it's fine. Come across if you want, buddy.
Why is it always snakes?
I hate snakes.
But then, like, Derek's like, oh, well, maybe it's a box. And so when they close it, or he has to come out, he's like, nope, because he
Yeah, I
just
thought
walks
like
off.
where the end of the gate was. I was like, well, the fence just goes straight down that way.
I mean,
right?
it's-
We can't see it. The guy closes the gate and then walks out where I thought there was a fence. I'm like,
it's like a Hot Shots moment.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Is
of
that not where they got part deux?
Well,
Well,
this
so-
part two is this movie.
I've
Yeah.
seen part deux more than I've seen this. So there's a lot of times
too.
I was like, oh, I know what he's gonna do. Oh wait, no, wrong movie. Wrong fucking
this is where he
movie.
gets the chicken and shoots it out of the
When,
boat.
when I see this chicken later, I was like, oh, he's gonna nope, wrong movie.
Exactly.
He's not actually gonna shoot a chicken like an arrow, folks. Much to my dismay.
So he goes to sneak in. He builds his little compound bow, and she's like, "Ko." I don't know if we mentioned that was.
No,
her
we
name,
didn't.
but
Co.
Ko is her name. Ko Bao,
Kobao.
like the dumplings.
oh, I'm gonna start calling her little dumpling.
Ooh, she is a little dumpling.
She's like, "Your orders are to do recon," and he's like, "There's no more orders, Ko," and just leaves her in the jungle.
Yep.
So then we get sneaky time. And he's like going around this whole camp. You know, we're not gonna go through all that. Like he sneaks around, hiding from people. Somehow
Cool
they
shots, though.
Somehow they don't hear this 260-pound beefcake.
Yeah.
I don't know how much
This
he weighs. but-
Italian stallion thumping through the mud patties.
He's got twinkle toes.
He does.
just like Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal taught him how to tiptoe.
Yeah. Or did he?
According to
You
Steven
know what?
Seagal.
Actually, I think he taught everybody how to do everything. Because I was watching some of the stuff in this, and I was like, oh, he stole that from Predator. Oh no, Predator's 3 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, he stole that from Commando. No,
Oh, wait,
Commando's
no,
3 years
Commando-
later.
yeah.
Like, holy shit! Everything got stolen from Stallone.
I mean,
Yeah.
Rambo is one of the first big blockbuster actiony
Yeah.
ones. You know, well, number two is, I mean.
Yeah,
by-
I mean the
by
first
Rambo.
one they kind of say in the behind the scenes stuff that it did kind of create the no longer modern but the modern action genre of the
Right.
time, even though it was a little different. It was that same.
It was
type of
I think it was
action, just less
unintentional,
killing.
and
Yeah.
then this one is very deliberate, where it's like, oh yeah, you like shoot 'em ups, and you want me to get my guy to the shirt?
Yeah.
I'll get him out of this shirt, no problem.
I'll get you a toe.
Yeah, I'll get you a toe. You want a shirtless
Nail
Rambo? I'll
polish?
get you one.
I'll get you one. I'm gonna finish my coffee.
You want a scar above the left nipple? I'll get you a scar.
I'm finishing my POW camp. So he finds
I'm
the
finishing my mission, dude.
POWs that aren't supposed to be there, and he finds one of them like crucified. So that one he lets go, who kind of looks like, and I mean, I know he's emaciated, he's a POW and stuff, but he kind of just really reminded me of the old man from
Waterworld?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh
He's
yes,
like, I'm not dead yet. Like,
100%. I can
Let's
see
get this
that.
dead body off this crucifix.
I'm not dead yet. I
he
think
will be soon.
I want to say that guy like definitely emaciated himself. Like he was skin on bone.
Oh no,
God,
you just
do
find
you
a
think
vegan and
I
rub
was
some
like-
dirt on him.
I was
They all
like,
look
either
like that.
either this guy Christian Bale his featured extra role,
Oh.
or they just found a skinny dude.
Yeah, you just find a skinny little vegan from California.
They made a great
California.
job getting these 6 guys look like they've been in hell for the last 7 years.
Well, what you call hell, they call home.
Speaking of Arnold movies, he's got the line here where he takes the crucified guy down, and the guy's like, "But there are others," and he goes, "I'll be back." And I was like, "This is a year after Terminator, so
Yeah,
definitely-" But
you're-
also maybe he didn't steal that line. James Cameron wrote this, so maybe James Cameron wrote that line in there, and then was like, "That's good."
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
like
I'm gonna
this.
Use that for
I'm
Terminator.
good at this.
Does he say it number 1 though? Maybe he doesn't say it till number 2.
I've seen number 1 maybe twice.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, because like number 1, Terminator is the bad guy.
Oh, he does say I'll be back in number 1.
Okay.
It's at the police station or wherever it was. Like he walked up and it's not the I'll be back that we know, but it's him talking to whoever this desk clerk is. I want to say it's a fucking cop.
Oh, with the
But-
sunglasses.
And
thing.
he just, he's like, I'll be back. Like it's not
okay.
the I'll be back as much as we know it to be.
Okay.
But yeah, it said.
Yeah, okay. I've seen the first one a bunch of times. I've probably seen the second one more.
I've seen
Because
the
the second one is the children's
so
version of the
many
first one, and it came out when I was a child. So
Yeah. I always wanted to be that little shitty redheaded
I was
mulleted
gonna
kid.
say it's got that little fucking asshole from Camp Anawana.
we hold you in our hearts.
Oh, and you know what? I did think that was funny, the Arnold line. I mean, obviously they went back and forth. They weren't pally back then. I think they were actually like rivals.
They
But
were.
we were watching Twins
Yes.
recently, And it's when Arnold comes to the mainland, because I don't know if you remember that movie at all, but he grew up
very
on
much.
the island and everything.
Yeah.
And he's walking around. I think he's walking by the Man's Chinese Theater there.
Okay.
And he sees like a Rambo poster, and it's Stallone with the muscles and the gun and everything. It was presumably Rambo 3, probably.
Yeah.
And he like puts his arm up next to Stallone, and he's just like,
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, he does a nice little dig to Stallone
Yeah.
in it.
I don't. Were they like chummy back then, or were they actually rivals? I
They
know
were.
obviously
I
they're
think they
friends
were
now,
chummy, but it was like original frenemies.
Well, didn't he like say something about the movie? Was it Cobra? Where he was like,
no, it was
Stop or my mom
Stop or
will
my mom
shoot.
will shoot.
"That's right. I'm coming over for it."
Yeah, well, I think
ABC.
that's why I
I'm
wasn't
going to
sure.
do
this movie. You
I didn't know if he told him
Yeah.
directly,
Wonderful.
though, or if
No,
he,
he
was
said
like,
in
if
an
it was out
interview.
in, like, yeah, it was in the interviews where he's like, "Oh yeah, this movie sounds great," or he was telling agents and stuff in the industry, "Oh, this movie sounds awesome. I'm going to do this movie."
It's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, I don't want anybody else to do this movie who is a big muscle man like me. I can do muscle memory.
Just imagine the way. Stop, or my mom will shoot.
And now do Rocky.
Stop, or my mom will shoot. Adrian.
And now John Travolta.
Oh wow! Stop, my mom will shoot.
That's Christopher Walken.
That's Walken.
Stop, or my mom will shoot.
That-
Oh,
yeah,
there's
I
your
guess.
Walken.
Mr. I gotta
Mr.
listen.
Carter.
I'm trying to get myself in the John Travolta. Mr. Carter. I
Mr.
can't.
Carter,
Yeah.
up your nose with a rubber hose.
Oh, welcome
Stop,
back,
or my mom will
Cotter.
shoot. Yeah, I'm that old.
Same. I'm older than you.
Only in years.
And he starts taking out soldiers now. So now he
Oh,
finally
yeah.
starts killing. He's
Like taking him out on dates,
it's
or what are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
he's
like
doing the
35
quiet
minutes
ones
into
right
the
now.
movie, and there's finally action. Like
It opened with an explosion. Took a little pause. Took a little time
the
off.
explosion was the mining thing. I think
Yeah.
we kind of mentioned that. It's a rock quarry thing where they just mine rocks.
It's Cool Hand Luke.
We're not actually getting anything. We just need you guys to get rocks.
Just make these rocks smaller. Why? I don't want them big.
There's a lot of people who need them for their yards and stuff. That's where you get
gotta
your
make
yard
cement.
rocks.
That's how you get them. Prisoners, huh?
Exactly. So he tosses a dagger into one dude who he just leaves in the river, which is why they end up getting caught later. When he could have just dragged that guy 10 feet over into a bush.
It's
Hey,
gonna
whatever.
take you and your giant muscles like a microsecond.
Yeah, you just throw this.
You
dude.
pick up this little fella and you throw him down a ravine.
You sent him down that river.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it was like a little
You
creek.
Moses that
sailboat.
bitch.
It was just like a little crick. He couldn't have sent him down the river, but he could have just thrown him into a bush.
I
Yeah.
love that you called it a crick. That makes me very happy.
Well, we don't have creeks in Arizona, so you have to
We
call
got
it crick.
cricks.
They only exist in the Midwest, so there isn't water in Arizona. We're slowly dying.
Not anymore.
No, we got the Gila Wash, remember? Or the Gila River runs right through us.
Yeah, no, there's a Pantano River right by us. Yeah, so a soldier, like Ko is sneaking around and a soldier catches her and Rambo just blasts this dude right through the head with an arrow, which
Yeah.
is pretty fucking sweet.
We're getting fun fucking action.
Yeah, and they sneak away with this POW and they get away pretty easily. But it's in the morning when they find the body and they're immediately like, well, time to go track this guy down. Which, I mean, I understand, like, a guy was in your camp, whatever. But why do you care so much if this POW gets away? Like, what does this guy provide? You were literally in the middle of killing him. What is this guy providing?
He's theirs. Don't take my toys.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
pretty
just a
much.
matter of pride, I guess.
Yeah.
They took something away from me. They were in our camp.
74 of you die for
One POW,
nothing.
yeah.
Like, I mean, not nothing, but for you, it's nothing. You know what I mean? Like this.
It comes to nothing for you.
Yeah. I guess it's free labor because he mentions he's the one who tells them that they move the camp frequently.
Oh, yeah.
So they can do like
And they weren't
harvest
supposed to be
crops
there.
and- yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was the first time they had been there in a year, and that's why. And I think that's what they're implying is that Murdoch and crew thought that this POW camp was abandoned because their recon, their satellites and stuff had told them this camp was empty.
They wanted them
They
to
didn't
go to an
know
empty
that
one.
they were
Yeah.
moving these guys around, so they had literally just gotten moved there. The pirates, they find out the pirates sold them out. Like they're riding away on the boat, and another boat's coming to them, and all the pirates pull their guns out, and so Stallone just fucking murders.
Here comes the
all
little
of them.
belt knives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great.
yeah, tiny daggers. Dude, this is where you get the great.
young
Tiny
tiny
daggers.
This is where we start seeing the great squib work, though, because it's just missed. Like these guys are getting Stallone is just blasting all these dudes.
Starts
and
with
it's
he
just
starts with a shotgun. Like
missed.
he tiny daggers this guy, upgrades to a shotgun, and then
Yes.
once he runs out of that, he upgrades to like the fucking AK-47. Then he upgrades to the belt fed. Like he is just leveling up
he
on
is.
this boat.
He's getting all those power ups.
Fuck yeah.
You say mist, and I think of that one movie where it was literal mist. These are just like spurts everywhere. It's
but
just like
when it's going
blood
into the
going
air,
here.
it is literally like, I mean, like if you on the shots where you can see it from the side and stuff, you see blood, but like it's going through the air. Like it's literally turning into mist because it's coming out so fast.
It's
Which I mean, I
so
guess you're using a
fantastic.
belt-fed machine gun at point blank.
It's gonna happen.
Turn people
Dude,
into
the,
mist.
the squib work is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually think it's a lot better in this one than the next one.
The next one has better explosions.
Well, lots of them.
A lot of them.
Well, I didn't watch it,
holy
so don't
shit.
spoil alert me on that.
Well, he lives through this movie.
What?
Yeah.
Here, spoiler alert for number 3, there's explosions and people die.
He's gonna have a no shirt at some point.
Turn me on.
He will.
Who was it? Somebody in one of the, I think it might have been Charles Napier. Somebody when the behind the scenes mentioned that when they met Stallone, when they met Sly Stallone, that he was 185 pounds. So he was still buff.
He was lean.
But he was lean. And like by the time this was over, like by the time they came and did this, it was Charles Napier. He was like, he's just fucking jacked.
His shoulders are boulders. It's
This had to have been when he started using steroids.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, it could have been the next one too, because he gets progressively
God,
larger.
that next one, he's literally carved from stone.
Yeah.
It's because he
Apart
and
from
Arnold
Stallone.
Schwarzenegger are battling each other on the beefiest body.
You guys ever heard that story or seen that clip of when Arnold Schwarzenegger was on like the dating game or whatever?
Yes.
Before he was famous. So it's the one where they have the girl and then there's like the 3, Bachelor 1, Bachelor 2, Bachelor 3, and they ask
Yeah.
him questions. They can't see him. And Schwarzenegger is like, oh, my measurements are like his shoulders, his chest, whatever, the measurements. He says all of his stuff. And he's like, what do you think about that? And she goes, sounds like the lower I get, the smaller you are. Something like that. Because he doesn't do leg day.
Yeah,
and
he
I was
skips
just
leg
like,
day.
tiny penis.
Steroids.
Hold me close, young tiny penis.
You kind
No,
of have to.
don't hold me closer.
Well, you have to if it's a tiny penis. You got to get closer to it.
So it's
there's one sneaky pirate left. Well, he blows up.
Sneaky pirate.
or
sneaky about it.
They dive off. Ko and the POW dive off.
Cohen Powell.
Ko Pow. Ko Pow Chicken dive off. And the boat's coming at them, and he goes to blast the boat. Oh, he's going to use a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
But there's a sneaky pirate who grabs him from above, which is a
Chokes
terrible
him
idea
out.
because they just start lighting up this boat with their machine gun.
Well, and-
that guy's
and-
going to get killed too.
Yeah. You're going to you're a pirate. You're not part of this army.
Yeah. And he stabs this dude with his giant
Oh,
knife,
boy.
and there's blood just comes pouring out through this
Oh,
hole.
yeah.
What a terrible way to go. I mean, there's not a lot of great ways to go. This is bad.
Well, this knife has been used for a few things already, so if that guy didn't die, he's got a really bad infection. But don't worry, he explodes in a second.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no infection necessary here.
No
So
infection
He cauterized
sets
the
in.
wound. Don't worry. So
Cauterize
Rambo,
all his wounds.
Rambo blows up this other boat, dives off just in time for it to crash into the boat he's on, which explodes a moment before impact.
This is almost like a Michael
rolling
Bay
fire.
size explosion, except
yeah.
it works and it makes sense.
Do you think?
But it's made
It
with
is
fire.
Fucking enormous and it's real.
Do you think Michael Bay saw that and said, "I can do that better"?
Michael Bay's got to be what at this age, like 10 years old, just rubbing dick watching this movie.
This came out in what?
85.
85. He's
So-
probably like 20.
He was already, because I don't know how old he was, but Bad Boys was
Michael
95.
Bay is like at
Okay.
least 10
Bad
years
Boys
older
was
than
95,
us.
and he had
Alright.
already done a bunch of Playboy stuff and whatever. In,
So
the
Michael
early
Bay is
90s,
about
so.
18 years old, rubbing dick,
Yeah.
watching these explosions.
Well, he was already directing Playboy videos, so
Yeah.
that was his
the
job.
guy likes rubbing dick
His job was rubbing dick.
or getting people to rub their own dicks. I'm not going to rub your dick, but I'll get your dick rubbed by you.
Speaking of softcore, I think we've mentioned Italian Stallion, right?
Yeah.
That was
Oh,
Sylvester
yeah.
Stallone's first motion picture.
It was a softcore porn, yeah?
It's good times. So they're chasing him. They're launching mortars, and he's running through this rice paddy that they apparently grew for the movie, which is kind of cool. The helicopter's coming down. They're like, oh, shit, there he is. He's got a POW with him. And, all the people in the command center are like, yay! And then fucking Murdoch's like, "Urgh," gives them all a dirty
Everyone
look.
out.
Leave him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he says it gives a command. He's like, this command center is code Delta, whatever the fuck he says, which means get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And now it's just me. And he tells John Kreese,
Yeah, abort, pull out.
nope,
and-
don't sweep the leg.
Yeah, and he starts, and the Troutman's like, well, they're literally right there. Just fucking get them. Which I understand you have to follow orders and stuff, but I feel like 99% of soldiers in this situation would just lower
do
the
it.
helicopter. They have to lower it another 2 feet.
Yeah.
Let them grab on. He can pull that dude up.
Yep.
He could
But
throw
then
that
we'd have
dude
to
into the
then the movie
helicopter.
be over.
Yeah, I know, but still, fuck these guys.
I get what you're saying. John
They
Kreese
actually hold
looks,
Troutman at
I know.
gunpoint.
John Kreese actually looks pretty worked up about it
Oh, yeah,
as a
because
character.
Troutman's in the copter, by the way. He's in there. He's like, he's
That's
right there.
right,
Let's
yeah.
grab him. And then the blonde dude that has no words puts a gun on him. Is like, don't you fucking move.
Well, he's got those words.
Yeah, he had no words before.
No, but he's barely.
Everybody
he's just-
knows you can't
He's
trust
been a
an
guy in the
adult with blonde
background
hair.
wearing sunglasses.
oh.
That's what you've been.
Oh, the one thing we did not mention is product placement.
Oh yeah,
Coke
the Coke
machine?
machine.
The Coke
Give me
machine.
something cold.
Yeah, and they focus on that
You just
machine
open the
every
Coke
angle.
But in my head canon, there are beers in there, and that's
Oh,
why
yeah.
they didn't hit the dispenser button. Just opened up like, all right, here's some ham.
Here's a
You know what?
silver
That's
bullet
what
for
I need. I
you.
need a soda machine that we fill with beers, but just randomly fill it. So you just push the button and a beer
Ooh.
comes out, and that's what you're drinking.
Put the good ones behind the diet. That way no one goes for it. You're like, oh, I've got a real killer stout right there. Just hit that diet button. Click, clink.
New investment.
Barely.
Yeah.
There's a movie to talk about. So yeah, they're holding him at gunpoint, and he's has a good line where he's like, he calls them, he's like, you goddamn mercenaries, those are our men down there, and the guy's like, they're your men.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no, you're all in the same army.
No, if you're mercenaries,
but
you
they're
were
not actually mercenaries.
you were army. Well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're working for Murdoch.
They're now bureaucrats now.
as
say burgercrat?
freelance. I would love to meet a burgercrat.
Is that like Mayor McCheese?
Maybe cheese is the first burgercrat.
Oh my god, did you know it's Grimace's birthday?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh,
McDonald's. It had, I don't know. I got McDonald's the other day and it's like, happy birthday, Grimace. And I was like,
it's
oh,
just
we're
his birth month
we're
or
still
some
supporting Grimace.
Well,
Well-
they made Ronald McDonald disappear when the murder clowns were going around, but
Yeah,
the
they
rest
did.
of the things are still on. So
Yeah, if somebody gets killed by a giant green or a purple gloop, then we'll take
What
away
were those
Grimace.
if
little
he had one eye and a horn, he'd be a whole
Frylings
different
called?
creature.
Oh yeah, there's whole songs about that tragedy.
What were those little like Moppet fry thingies? There was like a green one and a blue one.
Oh, they look
Frylock?
like pom poms.
Yeah, they look like pom poms.
Yeah, I don't. That's as much as I know about it.
Okay. Anyways, back to murder.
All I remember is when they had
back
those
to Burger
Transformers
Crats.
toys that turned into McDonald's.
I
Yes.
have
Those
those.
are awesome.
I have all
There's the
those.
French fry one, the Big Mac
Yeah,
one.
my mom saved
Chicken
every
nuggets
single
is a
one of those.
pterodactyl.
Yes.
Well, okay, you're combining two of them because
Am I?
there are ones that were robots specifically and ones that were dinosaurs
Oh,
and
okay.
food.
I remember the dinosaur ones very well because I remember the chicken nugget pterodactyl.
The burger turned into like a stegosaurus
Yeah.
looking deal. Yeah, I have those and the original Robot ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'll bust them out someday when I find
I
them.
think
We
you
can
should.
bring it over. We can
They're-
play.
yeah.
It'll be our first YouTube video. It's just us doing the next Transformers
It's
movie.
just focused on the Transformers on the table, not
Transformers, the snackening.
So still stars Marky Mark then.
Hey, what's it like wanting a burger?
Hey, these French fries are trying to kill us,
Bro,
bro.
man, you want a shake?
You're never
Make sure
gonna get
mine's
away.
vanilla. Don't give me a chocolate shake. I'll throw it in the fucking ground.
Troutman is yelling at
Murdoch.
Murdoch at this point. Like they tell everybody to leave the command center, and he's yelling at him. And he's basically just like, this is when he's telling him like, you're a bureaucrat. You're just trying to cover your ass. You don't give a shit about these men. You don't give a shit about Rambo. You know,
Rambo.
And this is when he mentions the money they were supposed to pay, the reparations.
Yeah, this is where you
and
get
everything.
plot.
And he's like, and then that Murdoch is like, do you think we should pay ransom for forgotten ghosts? And he's like,
Oof.
they're men. And I'm like,
Ghosts.
that part of the message in this one is I get. It's because it's not Stallone saying the line, I guess.
Right.
So it's a little more like, damn, that's fucked up.
This movie's giving Crenna more to do.
Yeah. Not as much as the third one.
No.
But more.
They ramp
Also-
everything up in the third one, don't they?
I do want to
Including
say
the racism.
that
Oh, yeah.
Co,
Uh-huh.
she did not want you to forget the name of this movie. Because
Oh,
every time she talks,
Rambo.
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 Why are you doing that, Rambo?
Hey, Rambo.
Hey, Rambo. Did you know your name's Rambo?
hey, Rambo.
He's her beau. Rambo.
They go back, like, because the guys obviously catch, when the helicopter leaves, they get swarmed on the hilltop. And they have this shot of, like, this pig pen thing or pigsty.
What?
And there's, like, liquid shit coming out of it. And they follow it down, and you already know where it's going, but you're just like, don't do that.
Please,
And it gets
no.
down, and Rambo is just tied up in a...
Is that getting you?
A little bit. Right back here.
In a literal shit lake that's also full of leeches.
I could
Yeah.
smell it. Oh.
Like I think one of these guys like spits on him at one point, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's welcoming that.
Yeah, he's like,
That's
"Wash it
helping
off."
wash off some of the shit. But we do get some muddy cheeks.
Yes, we do.
Mud?
He's-
They're shit cheeks.
Well, I'm calling them muddy cheeks, but you can insert whatever you want for mud.
This is when we find out the Russians are still there, still helping, because they show up, and the only villain in this entire movie that speaks English enters the movie. Other than Murdoch. I mean, Murdoch's a villain, but
Sure.
I mean, as far as like the villains who get
So
murdered,
I like this guy, but his Russian accent was dropping.
you want to know what would
Heavy.
have been
All
awesome?
the time.
Huh.
The person who was supposed to play him,
Ooh, gimme.
Dish.
Dolph Lundgren.
Oh my
That would have been
God.
fantastic.
If
Why didn't he do
dies,
it?
dies. No, that's
Yeah.
fucking so much better.
Well, that right there is why he isn't playing him. They had already signed him to a contract, but then Stallone realized that they were going to be using him for Rocky 4.
so fucking
right?
what?
And yeah, he didn't want it to be like Stallone and Dolph Lundgren, Stallone and Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
'cause
But
he
they
wanted to
make
be
great
Stallone, you know what I mean?
enemies.
I don't know how old he would have been at this point. I don't know the actor's name, but in Snatch, the guy that plays Boris the Blade,
Oh, yeah.
what was he doing at this time in life? Because at least he's got a good, believable, thick Russian accent. This guy starts good, but at the very end, it's like, hello, governor.
This
Yeah,
guy's got a real, like, he's a real Russian. His name is Steven Burkoff. He also played Victor Maitland in Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
So,
Oh,
Oh,
but
yeah, I recognize that mole right there on the
Yeah.
head.
his
Moly,
henchman.
Yuri?
Yes.
no,
From
Yunshin.
Is he?
Yunshin?
So is he from Lionheart?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm looking at this guy and I'm like, man, he's really
Well, because
familiar.
speaking of Snatch, she
I was
thought she was like that.
Don't call her that.
She was like, it can't be him, but it looks like
I was like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels,
Yeah.
or
Bullet Tooth Tony.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bullet
Vinnie
Tooth Tony.
Jones.
Yeah.
Vinnie Jones. It looks like Vinnie Jones. I was like, it does look like it could be Vinnie Jones' grandfather or something. But
Uncle?
then when they
It's
got-
actually Vinnie Johansson in this one.
but when we got a good shot of his face, I was like, you know who the fuck that is?
I picked
That's,
it up.
That mole.
he
Speaking of
has
moles.
a real like a longer Russian name, but his name he went by because people couldn't. Maybe he didn't want to sound so Russian because it was
Yeah.
the 80s. I don't know. It's Voyo Garrick, but it's like a Voyoslavsky.
I looked it
something.
up on IMDb and I was like, I'm not even gonna try
Same.
to pronounce that. I'm not.
Yeah, but he was in Lionheart. He was one of the guys that was following Van Damme around.
At the risk of sounding racist, was it Mustafa?
Mustafa, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Musafa.
Mufasa.
I don't think there was a T. Do it again. Do it again.
Does that make me the one that's just gonna go?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
It makes
Because
me.
you just did it better than I could. So
So I'm Whoopi. You're.
Cheech Marin.
Yeah.
And I'm.
Ed.
I got hit in the head.
And this is bad movie.
Does anybody know who played him?
No.
Probably Cheech also.
It's just Cheech laughing. It's just Chong. And they
It's
got
Chong
him real
laughing.
stoned.
What do you mean they got him stoned? He showed up that way.
He's like, my buddy needs some work. He's like, well, he just needs to laugh. You know, that's fine. He's got this.
I'll take that part.
He's got a company. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called Chong's Bongs. I think he'll be fine. So yeah, the Russian guy is basically trying to tell him to call the headquarters and tell them to like back off or whatever, and so he can be
I
interrogated.
didn't really
Like,
follow what he wanted.
I don't know. He wanted him to call them for some reason.
That was apparent. Like he's like, make the call. But I
Yeah.
don't like. Was he gonna tell him like, we're good here, or did he want to set
Yeah.
up a trap? Like, hey, send your people.
I think that was it. I think he wanted them to know that he was going to be interrogated, which means tortured.
Gotcha.
I don't. It wasn't really that clear. When he's like, make the call, and he like holds the thing up to him. He's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Which is nice.
I like his
it's a nice simple
tightening
fuck
his
you.
grip on this microphone. Murdoch. I'm
coming for
you. I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
Oh, great,
That's
dude.
fucking great when he does finally
Boom.
call him. I'm coming for you. Fucking hits the Podolsky or whatever the guy, Podolsky, the main Russian,
Yeah.
in the face, and then
Victor Maitland.
pushes the Yunshin guy or Yunshin, whatever his name is. I'm gonna say it like it's Asian, but it is Yunshin.
I'm pretty
in
sure
the
it
credits.
wasn't it Yuri as the character?
No, in the credits it's YUNSHIN, but it's
Oh.
Russian.
Maybe he
so-
called him Uni.
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
he
it
might have
is.
called him Uni.
Mustafa. He
Unique.
pushes him into this like electric mattress spring that they were using to torture him.
Uh-huh.
Which is like the classic, like, you know, that's the thing people remember from this, and you've seen it in other stuff. But
Well, because
when
when
he's
we
tied
skipped
to,
over
like,
the torture.
yeah.
He's tied to an electric bed frame.
Yeah, it's just the springs
They've
from
been
a
heating
mattress.
up his knife in the coals.
Yeah.
They drag it across Rambo's face, which he winces, but he's like, "Oh, you're no
stranger to
pain." They bring in the POW. This fucking POW's got balls of steel because
Yeah.
they go put it in his eye, and they're
Don't
holding him down. And he
fucking
goes,
say
"Don't
anything."
you say anything. Don't make the call." And he's like, he repeats it again because they're going after his eyes. Like, "Don't do it." And I'm like, man, this guy's just wishing for death at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been through a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, he does tell him like, don't do it, and that's why he gives in. But again, he doesn't do anything. He just tells him, "Fuck you." So
I'm coming for you.
Lone wolf to lion den.
He really
"Hey,
perked up that
motherfucker,
paralyzed
I'm
face.
coming for you. And then he
Hey,
turns
mother
around,
bitch.
Let's get out of here.
He used up the last of his good words for that line.
He had some stem cells injected directly into his lips. That's how that works.
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Oh, and while this is going on, Ko has showed up dressed like a prostitute.
Yes.
And she's sneaking through the camp to help him, which she doesn't. I mean, she does end up shooting a couple guys.
She helps him, but I mean,
he's
I feel
already
like
in the process of escaping when she arrives to him. But she's sneaking through the camp trying to get to him to help him. Which
But
is cool.
she's being all wimbly nimbly, and then he sees her out the window or under something.
Is that why he went for it?
Yeah, he
Oh, okay.
saw her.
I didn't see that he saw her. Okay.
He's like, fuck it, let's get this on.
that's exactly why.
Okay. And he does grab like some grenades, and Whitney was like, "Why only grab one grenade?" Because they show him grab one, but he clearly has more.
It was a belt of grenades, apparently.
And you can't tell they're escaping through the jungle. Rambo through the jungle. Bring him back.
Yeah. Brought it
and
back. Look at
you
that.
can't tell if it's day or night because they're
I
escaping
think
at
it's
night.
dusk.
Well, they're escaping at night. And you have the helicopter
yeah.
with the light, but sometimes when they're in the jungle, it's clearly the middle of the day, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's nighttime. But that's not the only time that happens in this movie, by the way. Like later on with the rain, it's like, when were you filming this?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know the scene.
Oh, Rambo
but-
has magical drying hair. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very mixed, but it's whatever. It is what it is.
It's a hard
Semantics.
perm they put on that.
There's sometimes he comes out of the, it's after the mud scene, and then he cleans
Yeah.
off, and then beautifully blown dried hair.
Well, it's like a mud bath. See, it's
Yeah,
really good
That's
for
why
your
he
hair
came out looking so
follicles.
refreshed.
Apparently.
The helicopter is like hunting him. This is so they get away.
It's back
and
to my
they're,
fear of helicopters, man. They're coming for you.
It started with this, and then there was Goodfellas.
Yeah,
I was like
They're
Ray
just always
Liotta's.
waiting for you.
Terrified
Rest in
of
pictures.
helicopters.
I'm looking up, guys. I
I saw you duck. I saw you flinch.
was looking up through the window of
I know.
the car. It's all the cocaine.
So much cocaine.
So they get away, and they're waiting they're by this river, like, for whatever reason, just hanging out because like, oh well, we can't hear him, so we must be safe. And this is when they kiss, and she's like, "Oh, you take me with you?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Nothing ominous
probably,
about this.
Sure, why not?
I was like, she's going to kiss him, and now she's dead.
Oh,
Yep.
no, Bleep and Bleep called it too. They were just like, she's dead now, right? But they didn't realize how quick she was
Yeah.
going to be dead. They figured like, oh,
The next scene.
she'll die in like the final mission,
Yeah,
trying
I
to get
thought she
him
should've died at
out.
the end of the movie.
2 steps away from kissing this dude.
Yeah, they stop kissing.
through the
She
heart.
stands up. Yes, and shot through the heart.
It is
too late.
It's too late.
Adrian!
You gave your blouse a blood stain.
Yeah,
Which-
he just yells Adrian, and it's like, that's not even the girlfriend.
Not yet. So what's great though is he uses part of this dress as the iconic bandana.
Yeah.
Right. I pictured this thing a lot more red in my brain, and I couldn't remember think if it was maybe because of Gremlins
Oh.
when Gizmo goes all
Yeah.
his is bright
Well-
red, or Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah,
Correct.
But then when I see number 3,
it's red.
it's bright, vibrant red. That's the red I thought it was.
Okay.
Because in the first one he has one, but it's old tater sack.
Yes.
In
Because
this one he's got one, but
it's
it's-
his wound. It's
because
covering his wound.
red is very good for sneaking around in jungles. If you have a bright red thing on your head, no one can see
Yeah.
you.
But they
Yeah.
also
And
can't tell
he
if you're
think-
bleeding.
Maybe he thinks of it like a snake. He's like, if they see me, they'll think I'm poisonous.
No,
and
they're
they'll
going to
leave me
see
alone.
red and be like, well, at least he's a communist. He's sneaking around, but he's a communist that's sneaking around.
I do have to mention,
I'll let
though,
it fly.
right before they kiss, I got a very like Team America vibe where she's like, promise you'll take me with
Yeah,
you,
you
and
take
it'll
me
be
with
over.
you.
And, da-da. And I got that whole thing of like, I promise I will never die. She's like, if you said you would promise you would never die, I'll sleep with you right now.
yeah.
I promise. That's exactly how I felt. She's like, yeah, no, you can come with me. We'll stop fighting.
I'll
It'll
take
be great.
you with me, yeah. Oh, man, just 2 steps away.
Ugh. And then he puts the necklace on,
Brings good luck.
Which-
It worked really well for her.
which
Yeah, kiss, kiss, bang, bang, she did, right? Like,
the position of it though, like, could you imagine your
Oh, it's a
Adam's
choker.
apple just like
On-
going up and under?
On him, it's a fucking choker. On her, it was like a nice little dangly piece of like
Yeah.
it gets a little
turquoise
longer thing in
Buddha.
the next movie.
Yeah, but when he puts it on right now, the props department did not give him a bigger one.
No, they did not.
Like, this is this one. He's like, oh.
It's probably the same one. He just had a much thicker neck than her.
He improved it.
Yeah, he did.
He's like,
He
I
tied
think-
it.
I
He
think
didn't
my
clasp
character
it.
would loot her body and maybe squeeze a boob.
I was gonna tip.
Just give her a hunk hunk. So Troutman gets arrested by Murdoch. I mean, they don't really ever see it. He says that.
Yeah.
But he's like, we're going to, what are you going to do? You're just going to leave him there? And he's like, well, like you said, Colonel, he went home.
Yeah.
Fuck that
off.
guy.
Go back to running a honky-tonk
This
asshole.
is where we get, which in the special features, I don't know if it was the effects guys or somebody referred to as the maiming montage. There was a maiming montage in the first movie.
Yeah.
And people loved it, so they were like, well, let's do it in this one. Maiming montage. So it's when he's like sneaking around in the rain, picking off these Russian soldiers.
He's pissed now.
Yeah.
Ka-choo!
Oh,
Yeah.
they send so many Russian. This actually, at one point, it's kind of like a very horror-esque because
Yeah.
you don't see him, and there's one of the Russian guys walks by two rocks, and Rambo starts pulling him in. This guy can't even scream.
Yeah.
He's so scared. He's just pulling him in. You hear like a squelch,
Yeah, he's like,
and that's it. I was like, man, that's pretty fucking
pulls him
cool.
down into the crevice between the rocks.
I love him being I made him rewind it. I was
Oh,
like,
the mud?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
which
mud.
is very much the David Caruso stab in the
In the
first
forest.
movie.
Yeah.
Where he's like,
He gets butt
where he's
stabbed.
hiding down and he stabs him in the asshole. This one, he's
Right in the
doing
taint.
the Predator thing, which again, apparently Predator stole,
Mm-hmm.
where he's completely covered in mud, eyes closed, and everything up against a mud wall, and the soldier's standing there, and you just see the eye open, and you're just like,
I also rewound it. And
Yeah.
It's like, did I see him there? And like, dude, it's good.
It is good.
That fucking bright ass white eye opens up. You're like, oh shit.
yeah, it's like the other one though. Once you know he's there, you're like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't see it if
Yeah.
you were
And they did a
walking
good job
by.
of keeping it
Yeah.
out of focus.
Yes.
Just enough that when it does focus in, that's when you see him.
Yeah.
I mean, look at
You know
our
who
TV.
didn't see him?
that fucking
that
Russian.
dead guy.
This Ruski.
This is where I noticed the big change because it's this heavy rain. He's in the mud at that scene. He's completely covered head to toe in mud.
And then it just-
And then the next scene, he is running between trees, bone dry. His clothes are dry. His hair is dry. He's perfectly clean. The ground is dry. The fucking humid jungle is now dry.
So it's just bad editing.
And not just him, but all the bad guys too. So
Yeah.
it's like they shot on a different day, and they were like, well, they didn't. I don't think they planned. Maybe they didn't plan on that one being in the rain.
Yeah, it just
And
happened.
so they didn't have like a rain machine or like a hose, I guess. I don't know.
A rain
Okay,
machine? You
so-
mean a sprinkler?
The dry one was shot in Mexico, and the wet one was in Thailand.
So yeah, it's very dry and clear. And he goes into this village where there's like monks praying and shit. And then this village just gets just demolished.
Ugh.
Like he does not try to help these people in
No.
the slightest.
He's
on a path of
"I'm gonna
vengeance
destroy your
now."
homes
He's like,
and
"Run it
kill
through."
dozens of you, but I got to save my 6 colleagues here."
You know these 6 people that don't actually live in this country? I'm going to go save them.
Trying
Fuck
to
your
take it
house.
back. Taking it back.
Taking it back.
That's when he's like sneaking through the reeds and he sees the chicken. And yeah, my first thought was,
Hot
like,
Shots
this where he
Part
puts
Two
that chicken
has-
in the bow and arrow.
Has left an imprint on me, apparently, Derek.
But it's kind of fucked up. But it's a good plan. He cuts the chicken's throat basically and like rubs the blood as he goes through the reeds.
Uh-huh.
So they think they're following his blood trail.
And it turns out they were following a chicken blood that,
Slash gas.
along with gasoline. I
And
mean,
he just lights these
this chicken
reeds
wasn't
up.
going to have a good life anyway. I'm okay with it.
I mean, the chicken was going to have its throat cut and it was going to be put over fire.
Yeah. Well,
things were gonna happen to it.
He fulfilled this destiny.
He uses the exploding arrow tips to like set it off and like
The RPGs.
yeah, and the reeds go up and the village starts going up and they built like 10 huts. They just shot stuff from different angles and stuff to make it look like there was more stuff.
Oh, okay.
But they
same.
blew up 5 of them.
Oh.
But every time they blew them up, they used like 3 cameras or whatever.
So you had different angles.
Yeah, so like
Gotcha.
you'd see the same hut exploding, but it's completely different, 180-degree different view, stuff like that. So it looks like a bunch of different huts.
Again, I like it in this movie. I like
wondering-
what they're doing.
I'm wondering if that wouldn't be the one. It would be when like the last one with the helicopter, right? Where the special effects guy was.
Oh, it could have been. Who knows? I mean, it just said during an explosion.
Well, rest
so.
in pictures, my dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Rest in pictures.
I got another Team America vibe from this one because he's just torching these people's village, and it's just like America,
Fuck yeah!
because he is just having the time of his life.
He is. He's at home here. I mean, I know that like this whole thing is supposed to be him like leaving that soldier thing behind. He is having a fun
He
little
embraced
time.
it.
This guy has never lived so well.
You want me to be a killer? I'll show you a fucking killer.
You killed my
man.
girlfriend.
You killed. I just made out with her for the first time. I actually am kind of a virgin.
You killed my girlfriend.
There's
Prepare
easily
to die.
there's a chance that Rambo could be a virgin. I mean, he joined the military
I mean,
pretty
it
quick.
was,
At
it was
18.
cut from the first movie, but there was that deleted scene where he was hanging out with his friends at the whorehouse, and he goes and bangs like Miss January or some shit from
Oh yeah, it was in
Penthouse.
deleted scenes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
very unaware.
So that's the only person
we
he
mentioned
slept
it
with.
during the last episode because it was cut because it was when he's in the cave and he's hiding and he's like by the fire before they come for him.
And it shows.
And it's like a flashback
Yeah.
of him with his friends, and he gets to hook up with this girl who was like a penthouse pen mate. Or
That's
whatever the
because
fuck,
somebody like
pen
me
pal.
was like, "Oh, I bet he's a virgin." Stallone's like, "No fucking way." I beg to play, baby.
He has sex exactly 0 times, at least in the first 4 of these movies. He doesn't have time. No time for boning. Like, I can bone or I can murder. Maybe that's why he's so good at killing. It's just all this pent-up
Pent-up
sexual
sexual aggression,
frustration.
yeah.
He only killed 59 people in his entire tour in Vietnam because he was fucking.
He was getting that strange.
He killed more in 2 days because he's not fucking.
Yep.
He's been in that
There we
prison
go.
camp for a while, and he's
3 years.
Yeah, not fucking.
I'm gonna stop having sex and become a murdering machine.
So this head.
Hopefully for
Aren't you
good.
almost there?
Not having sex or a murder machine.
Murder machine.
I'm almost there. I'm close.
I mean, we're all one step away. We're all.
I'm just
bad
one
day
bad
away.
comment away, dude.
One day from a McGuire.
I'm always one getting cut off in traffic away from becoming a mass murderer.
Oh my gosh.
That is the last straw too. It's just
Dude,
traffic.
if it ever happens, it'll be full Michael Douglas, like falling down. Like I'll be in traffic, some kids screaming next to me, the AC in the car quits working. I just get out and walk away and start murdering people. I won't exclusively murder minorities like he does in that movie, but
Right.
like, just murder people in general.
A better version of mass murder is what I'm going for.
I call it Darwinism.
When you kill people?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yeah, she's Darwin.
Yeah, you were too stupid to get away from me, so you don't deserve to live.
Pretty much. It's thinning out the herd.
If
I'm
you were
all for
slower
that.
than me, you die.
Yeah, I'm all for the culling.
So the head like Vietnamese soldier who's played by a guy, I think his name was George Chung. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I
but, like,
recognized him. He, by the way, it's worth noting, he's the one that shot the girlfriend.
yes.
It was specifically him.
his bullets are the ones that did it. But yeah, so this head Vietnamese guy sees Rambo across this river and he's trying to shoot him. And he can't hit. Rambo is just standing on top of a rock as an open target.
Maybe plot armor, but this guy's got an AK-47 and missing every single fucking shot.
The wind.
And the progression is hilarious because, okay, so you can't shoot him with this. You start running away because you see Rambo's pulling out an RPG.
His bow, yeah.
Yeah, his Rambo propelled grenade. And this guy starts to run away. Okay, good, you're smart. He stops and pulls out his sidearm that has less range than your rifle.
Definitely.
Still
less.
can't
I would
hit
imagine.
him.
I don't know a lot about guns. I would imagine maybe it's slightly more accurate, but you're still far
No,
away.
it's not.
Because I
From
feel like
From that
AKs
distance?
aren't that accurate, right? I mean,
AKs
they're
are.
kinda
I mean, they aren't as accurate as other
like assault rifles.
assault rifles, but
Sorry, hunting rifles.
I would. I need it for deer.
America.
I would take this in distance over any sort of sidearm that you're pulling out.
Okay.
Okay, so you are the gun guy. When he's like crawling in the mud right before they get caught, I know we just stepped back a little bit. What gun is? Because I was like, is that gun useless now that it's just covered in mud?
AK-47s are
Okay, so
infamous
that
for
was
being able
a
to stand
47.
up to shit like this.
That's one of the few things I knew. I was like, if he has the M16 or whatever that he probably started with,
Yeah.
then it's
Bad
done.
news bears.
But if he stole one of their guns, it's fine.
The
That's the whole
reason
That's what I meant.
Kalashnikovs are so used by more poor countries is cheapness, ease of use. Children can be trained to take them apart and clean them and put them together, and they will not fail.
Okay.
Like, they just don't. But now back to the point, though, it is going to be less precise than a lot of other things of this.
That's why you
type.
just aim and spray.
Yep.
But the
Spray and pray.
one of the coolest things in this movie happens right now because he takes out that exploding arrow, his RPG, and launches an exploding arrow into one man.
Oh.
And this dummy explodes.
It is so good.
Miraculously.
Yeah.
So good.
The
Just
person-
boom, smoldering.
The person who did editing on this did an amazing job because that man is standing there until that very last second.
I know you don't like the sound that the arrows make. This one's okay.
This one is okay.
This is where you have that sound. Every other one should be whisper quiet.
Everyone should be just
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not-
because that's the point.
pew.
This one needs to be that pew, but
Yeah.
it's fucking good.
I
Yeah.
just watched a movie that we might have to cover, even though I thought it was a great movie, but it's just cheesy, campy. It's a mid-90s, like Hong Kong, or maybe late 80s Hong Kong action flick. Really great, like international cast. Everybody's speaking their own language, which is kind of like realistic. Like people speaking Cantonese and Polish and English and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's called Undeclared War, and the villain of the movie is Vernon Wells, who he was in The Road Warrior. He was in Commando. He's the mesh tank
I
top
got
guy
you.
from Commando.
Yeah, I know who you're saying.
And he gets
Stop me at mesh.
he gets exploded with a grenade, I think it's a grenade towards the end of the movie. And they like lift him up on this like rope thing, and he just blows up in the air, and it's just like raining chunks and mist on everybody.
That's good.
And I saw this, and that's immediately what I thought of. I was
It's
like, oh
raining
man,
wells. Hallelujah.
that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
He had a whole thing on that about how he hates CG stunts. That's awesome.
Good man.
Yeah, he was like,
Let's get him on the podcast.
We're gonna have you do this.
Let's
and
do
then
it.
He's like, your character is gonna do this and that, and he's gonna fall through this and jump over that and do this. And he's like, okay, when do we do it? And he's like, oh no, we're doing it later in a computer. And he's like, well, I'm
already
here right
done
now. Like I'm here. Let me do it.
It's literally what I get paid to
That's a dying
do.
breed, though.
Different movie. Yeah. Well, I mean, he is from fucking Mad Max days. I mean,
It's
Road Warrior and stuff. That was shot with a zero budget in the middle of fucking nowhere, Australia.
Yeah.
It's a dying generation.
Was he the one in the leather underwear?
No, he's not that guy. It's not him. He's the one.
Oh, he's got like the
he's
feathers.
the one with the mohawk and the feathers.
Yes,
and
yes,
shit.
yes.
That's Vernon Wells.
I think he reprises that role in Weird Science too.
He is in Weird Science
too.
as well.
Weird Science as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He is also in Weird Science. Yeah. He's awesome. Mustafa shows up again here in the helicopter.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like napalm or what this is that he drops. This bomb.
This bomb that he's dropping.
It's almost like a depth charge, except for it's not for going underwater.
Because they use it in 3 also.
Uh-huh.
So obviously it's a Russian weapon.
Yeah, it's
of
in some
sort.
incendiary fucking bomb.
But he drops this thing on this water. It's the reason I thought it was napalm is because he drops on this waterfall, and the waterfall, all the water, goes up in flames, and Rambo jumps out just in time. Of course,
of course.
You get that slow motion jumping away.
He's got a
big
sense for
explosion.
napalm.
Yeah. It's kind of awesome. And then the helicopter, like they're trying to shoot him from a higher height, and I guess they lower themselves down really low.
You don't
to
see
look
him
for
lower it.
No. And then he just fucking Jason Voorhees is out of the lake, grabs this dude and pulls him into the lake.
I laughed so hard because this helicopter is a foot above the water.
Yes.
You can go up like 9 feet and see just fine. And this guy cannot leap out of the water and grab people. It's funny. It's still good action, but it's like, man, why are you here?
Well, he thought he got him.
You are taking away all advantage of you having a helicopter, though.
Yes.
It was 100% the end of fucking the first Friday the 13th, though. It just needed like that bling, 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 like soundtrack of him just yanking that dude into the water. And then he goes in and he fights.
We get the big man fight?
Yeah, he fights the big dude on the helicopter.
Oh, the
and
helicopter
you
chase
can
thingy?
see him pushing him toward the edge. You see what's coming a million miles away. He fucking like kick flips him over his head, not like a skateboard, but like
No.
kicks him over.
No, he did
That'd
not.
be awesome.
He did not kickflip this dude. He did not ollie this guy. There was no 50-50.
No grinding.
Front side fakie.
900s this guy right out of the plane. So he does do a couple flips. And,
Yeah, he does.
or
We might get a
helicopter.
900 out of this.
And then
Oh,
he
did
goes
you
up
see
and he
his
looks
tucked barrel roll as he falls out, though?
No.
do a
it-
barrel roll. Blah, blah.
Yeah, he tucks it. Like that
Babba-doo
stunt
dabba.
guy has it tucked tight as he's falling out.
Safety first.
Safety
Somebody
first.
died.
Babba-doo dabba. The pilot, he goes up to the pilot, and the pilot's just like, "That's cool."
Smartest guy in the movie.
Jumps out of that.
But
fucking
he takes his helmet off before he jumps out. I'm like, dude, that could have saved your life.
It might be connected.
No, it comes
to
out
the
with
plane.
him.
Like, but it's by a head cable for the headset. I didn't think about
Maybe
that.
that's why.
I didn't. Okay,
But
that
he
makes
does
sense
jump
then.
out, and like, unfortunately, he does not jump out above the water. Like, he jumps out above jagged rocks, so he's probably dead too.
Call to the
He
first
gets
one.
an Art Galt death from the first
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
Sorry, pal. You're the art gull of this one.
And then he just fucking levels their camp. Like, he goes over with these missiles and guns, and I'm like, that POW thing is in this camp. I know it's off to the side, and you know where it is, but you better be careful,
now
dude.
I've got a helicopter.
Now I've got a helicopter. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
He
And I
kept
love
upgrading.
it because he's just
He's
firing.
leveling up this entire movie.
Yes. And that's what we should do, right?
He's going crazy, and he's just firing, and he's just oh, speaking of screaming, so
He's
apparently-
actually giving himself PTSD right now.
apparently there's a cut scene from the movie right after Ko gets murdered where they do that thing that's been in other movies that is always funny and that's been made fun of 1,000 times, where like he kneels over her body and yells into the sky, and you have like the 3 pan out zooms, you know, and like you can hear it echoing through the jungle.
And all the Russian guys like, sounds like old demon is alive in this jungle.
Well, the audience, apparently the test audience, cracked the fuck up. So they were like, all right, cutting that scene. I don't think you're supposed to be laughing after the love interest.
How do you
was
know it didn't
murdered.
work? Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be this big emotional time, and everyone started cracking up, so we cut it. Good Good job.
Good cut.
But this is where we get just massive amounts of glorious explosions. There's explosions for the next 7 minutes, basically. However
And
long
I'm
it
just
is.
singing, America, America.
And
God
he
shed
pulls
his
off
grace
this
on
mounted
me.
gun.
Yeah.
And this is where he's like, and this exact scene is what I used for, which you don't see often because we haven't done many of these, but it's for the Schlock and Load logo. Is him holding this mounted
Shirtless.
gun
With the
shirtless,
wraparound.
with the thing wrapped around his arm, just firing. It's like I saw the exact shot and I was like, that's the one.
That's it. So he uses all 9 yards. Do you know where that expression comes from?
That's how long the rope is.
Yeah, the belt fed. It's 9 yards of ammunition. So people would like give him all 9 yards. Like that's it.
Well, he uses it
Don't
twice
spare
'cause
any
he
ammo.
uses it now on the village, and then when he gets back to the base, he uses it to just unload on this fucking base too.
Yeah. So he gives 18 yards.
There we go. He
reloaded.
does a front and back.
Oh, who doesn't?
He gets all the POWs out by somehow miraculously not killing any of them in all these explosions. And
He didn't want to, so he didn't. It's as simple as that. Rambo shoots where Rambo wants to shoot.
He has control.
This is early in these kind of movies again, and like we see these tropes a lot, where like whatever the good guy wants is what happens, and like you said, it's plot armor.
So he's got plot
protected
aiming
by
too.
plot armor.
He's got plot armor. He's got plot aiming. This guy is set.
And there's like a helicopter chase, which is pretty exciting. And the director actually said, he's like, I don't see any point of doing like helicopters like high up, whatever. He's like, you fly them low and you fly them fast, which sounds cool until we just recently watched the thing about the Twilight Zone movie where they flew the helicopters too low and they did the explosions and the helicopter crashed down and killed Vic Morrow and those 2 kids.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful flying those helicopters
I
low.
watched, I heard an interview about one of the helicopter pilots. I think it might be for the 3rd one, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of helicopters. But he talks about the explosions create like some sort of thermal pocket. Like you can't just fly through an explosion.
Yeah.
It
No.
messes up your whole...
Well, that's exactly
everything.
what happened in the Twilight Zone movie. Like,
Yeah.
that's that famous thing about those people died. It was like literally like the helicopter was too low, the explosions were too big.
Too big,
because they were bigger than they like. The
They weren't
director
supposed to be that big.
made them
Yeah.
bigger than they had planned on them being. Helicopter lost control and literally chopped Vic Morrow and 2 children in half.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Quick way to
I mean,
go,
probably
I guess.
more than half, but you know what I mean. He literally killed them on camera, and they used the shot, not of them actually dying, but the helicopter
good.
crashing and stuff. Like they used the shot, which is fucked up.
I mean, is it
No,
fucked up, though?
I think
'Cause
it's they died for a reason.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Yeah.
on record now. If I die doing this podcast,
these
I want
kids-
you to use it.
These kids were working
got it.
like illegally, and like there's a lot
Yeah,
of
everything
fucked up
about
stuff.
that shit was
Just
shoddy.
like John Landis made a lot of mistakes there, but hey, you know what? Whatever. He made some good movies too.
Redemption.
So they like the helicopter's about to go down. It looks like there's all this smoke coming out, and the other guy shoots with the cool like armed Russian helicopter with all the big missiles and stuff. He shoots. There's a big
This
explosion.
is a warbird.
And the helicopter
Dope.
Rambo and company are on is gone. So he's like, oh, okay, I shot him down. And I immediately was like, he's going to fly forward and Rambo's going to right up behind him, right?
No, he's gonna do some helicopter pranks.
Yeah.
He is gonna pretend fakey. Which, by the way, this is kind of
possums.
dumb because so Victor Maitland pulls his warbird over the cliff and sees our helicopter, the POWs and Rambo's helicopter, just sitting on a rock in the middle of a creek, if you will. And he's like, I must have got them, ha ha ha. And then our guy Rambo pops a little fucking
Pretending he's
not,
dead.
Yeah, pretend he's sleeping or dead. It's not an RPG, but it's like a little
It's a
pocket
rocket
bazooka.
launcher, yeah.
A little bazooka, and he puts it out the hole in the window and shoots this guy down.
By the way, yeah, because Victor
So
Maitland,
stupid.
Victor Maitland's flying this helicopter like closer. Like he's like, oh, let me look through
Are
the
you
window.
out of ammunition?
Yeah.
Are you
just blow
out
the
of
fucking helicopter
rockets?
up.
Are you out
Yeah.
of those depth charges or bullets? Like, go to town on this fucking guy.
That's
If
what I
I'm
would do.
So what I would have done if I'm writing this
I
movie...
can't do any more shooting. They get mad for me spending all the money.
Oh, no, he has plot armor. This is tough predicament.
Oh no, gun is plot jammed.
Plot jammed.
That's great. But if I'm Rambo, what I'm doing is everything he's doing is fine. Have that little helicopter there, but you jump out. And you have your little bazooka on the side of the creek.
Yeah, he shoots it through that little tiny hole in the glass. Like if you hiccup.
At all. Don't fucking fart while you're shooting this bazooka
Yeah.
through an empty or a broken, jagged glass.
I think there was a quick shot, right, of Victor Maitland.
Yeah.
The guy just his like eyes, like the whole like shock thing
Oh,
right before
shit.
he explodes. Oh fuck!
He was not sleeping at all.
He got me.
He is very good actor.
He play helicopter prank. This no good.
And
So fucking stupid.
they still have to fly this busted ass helicopter out, right? And he's like, prepare for
You
emergency
can-
landing.
You can
but then
see
lands
at one
perfectly
point somebody with like almost like a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, just squirting.
Spraying it out like nothing. There's no motor that's on fire.
I don't
There's
understand
just-
where
there's
this thing
white
fire is
smoke
coming
There's
coming
just
out
a
of
guy
it.
like holding it down, like keep it cool, man, keep it cool.
Well, and it's like because it got shot, and it's supposed to be like the fuel. I'm assuming, like I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
'Cause it happens in the next one too. There's a helicopter with just white smoke coming out of it. It's like they have a fog machine inside the helicopter.
Maybe
that
it's just
pours out smoke.
a victim to HD. Like you
Yeah,
didn't see this.
Yeah, it just looks like a helicopter smoking. It's like, oh, something bad happened.
Yeah.
I do notice when it lands here at the base, and like after all this stuff happens, that he walks out, and like the helicopter is still on fire. I'm like, do you not have a fire department?
No, but they have people with actual fire extinguishers just waving, but nothing's coming out of it.
There's black smoke coming off this helicopter. This thing is going to explode.
This prop isn't real. Just pantomime it. We're already rolling. Just pantomime it. We can't fuck up this shot.
When he lands with all the POWs here, like everybody in the command center starts like cheering, and
like,
Murdoch
"Yeah, they
just gives them like a
landed!"
stare of death. They're like, "Yeah."
Ooh.
And Murdoch runs away.
He gave him like a look like your stepdad's trying to watch his programs and you were speaking way too loud.
Yes. Oh my God.
Shit, I'm gonna get the belt.
You know my stepdad?
No, I know mine.
And then Murdoch has this like when he lands, and they're like, "Oh, Rambo's here with all the POWs." Murdoch's like, "Oh fuck!" He's got this look on his face like, "Some bitch."
Well-
He dips. He's like,
He runs away to hide in the next room. I'm like, I would have jumped in a Jeep and taken off. How far can I drive?
Hey, that flaming helicopter, is that still running? I'm just gonna borrow that real quick. I'm gonna relocate it. I'll be back.
He
Gone.
gets off the helicopter, Rambo, not Murdoch, and he takes the mounted gun again, wraps the shit around his arm, fucking clocks John Kreese in the face.
yeah, twice.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Hey, good to see you, buddy," and he's just like, whack, and then he doesn't fall, so he hits him again. And he goes into the thing, and no one stops him. Like, he runs into the command center.
You
and they're
see
like,
this shirtless dude carrying 9 yards of
They're
ammunition?
like, well,
Let
he's
go.
going to go kill our boss.
Yep.
Fuck that guy. I mean, I guess, fuck him, right? He deserves to die.
Yeah, we don't like him.
But I was sitting
He
here
canceled.
thinking, I was
He
like,
canceled Pizza Day. Casual Fridays are dead now. Thanks.
we
to
didn't
Murdoch.
even get our annual pizza party. What's the point? He ordered 2 pizzas. Like,
He got 2 cheese pizzas. Some of us like toppings.
the night shift didn't even get any. I feel like I'm back at the grocery store working.
He gave me the donate to charity slice.
Oh. So he shoots up the Bleep Bloop command center and like uses the entire 9 yards.
9 yards?
Presumably. Well, they shot some of it. So
Yeah.
like 7.5 yards. Just blasting this entire command center to
Which
pieces.
They said this was the most difficult shot in the movie because
Oh,
they had
really?
one chance for it because of how many squibs went in and how he had to pan perfectly with it. The gun was firing blanks, obviously. Like
Obviously, yeah.
it was no
They
live
should
ammo.
just let him shoot it up. No one's
I
in there.
agree, dude. Like clear the fucking room. You get some of that MythBusters fucking glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, it's not squibs, but they're
Whatever
basically
the
squibs.
bullet hit explosions.
Yeah.
Squibs are with blood. I don't think they're called squibs.
There is
if they're
there
just-
is a name
yeah.
for it, but I'm not. It's not in my brain, so I'm gonna call them squibs. But yeah, they use a bunch of them for this fucking scene. It's awesome.
As he's finishing, he starts doing the thing. And again, thinking of another movie. Like,
Hot Fuzz?
You've never fired your gun up in the air and gone,
I said it out loud to bleep. I said it out loud to bleep and bleep when we were watching. It's like, put your gun in the air and went, ah. That was more New Zealand, but
Which
still.
he's doing
All right,
Point
Tiki.
Break, but same thing, right? He does finish because after he's done shooting, he shoots the last few rounds up into the air and he goes, ah.
Now it comes to Murdoch with that big, beautiful fucking
he
good
came
luck charm
somewhere.
of a knife.
Yeah, and Murdoch is trying to make excuses. He's like, I didn't give the orders. I'm just taking. I take orders just like you take orders.
I don't have your money. James got your money.
Dude, why are you Jimmy Stewart?
Right?
I take orders. I take orders. I can't do it
I'm
right
not the
now.
one that abandoned you. Your president abandoned you.
I gotta, Merry Christmas, movie house. All right, there we go. Gotta do a certain line.
You need a baseline. You need a baseline,
Oh,
Dad.
don't fucking stab me. I don't know. Didn't he die right around here? When did Fievel Goes West come out?
If I had to guess, and I do, I would say 91.
So it was right after, because that was his final movie role. Jimmy
Oh,
Stewart.
wow.
He
I didn't
played
know
the
that.
Sheriff Cat.
Oh, I know. No, Sheriff Dog.
No, it was a cat. Wasn't it a cat?
I think it was a dog.
Maybe it was a dog.
91.
I've
91?
91.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was his
yeah.
last movie role before he died, which is kind of depressing. I mean, the American Tail is a good movie, but like That's
Yeah,
for
but
Jimmy
it's
Stewart to be
it's,
his last movie.
We
Yeah,
talked
he-
about this off air
He
before, but
did
it's
pass
like
away in 91.
it's
Yeah.
like Gene Hackman, man. You could have retired on Royal Tenenbaums.
Yeah.
But just when you
I mean,
think you're out, Ray Romano
Philo
pulls you
goes
back in.
Philo Goes West is no welcome to Mooseport.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. Like, you say poor Jimmy Stewart, and I'm like, man, poor fucking Gene Hackman,
Yeah.
who's still alive, by
Yeah.
the way. He's not even dead yet.
Well, John Candy passed away in Wagons East.
Yeah, which
I
we will probably have
Don't
to do.
mind that movie.
I hate it. I never saw it. She made me watch it. and I
Because
was
of
like,
Cox.
This movie is
Yeah.
trash.
Oh, yeah. John C. McGinley playing a very effeminate dude.
Oh,
Not
he
for the
got
first
the
or
box
last
again.
time.
Not for the first. What was the
He was,
first?
maybe that was the first. He did another one. What was it? There's another one where he's playing a very gay, like, stereotype. Oh, I can't remember. But there's another movie where he plays a gay stereotype.
Okay.
I want to say it's an action movie. Doesn't matter. That's for another day. We'll talk about it on
Another
Wagons
dollar.
East.
We'll do our research by then, I promise.
Nah.
Wink. Did you say wink?
I went, wink.
So mission accomplished, or mission
Mission
accomplished.
accomplished.
Stabs the table right next to his head because he doesn't kill Americans.
Yeah,
right?
no matter how much he
Only
hates them.
kills people who don't speak English.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much.
Or have some sort of accent, maybe. You speak English, but it sounds funny.
Well, yeah, he speaks English, but he doesn't speak English.
It doesn't sound
Or-
like you can't understand what
or-
he's saying like when I talk. Yeah, he doesn't think you're good at me.
what he said. He doesn't kill on American soil.
Ooh, is that
This
it?
isn't American
huh?
soil, though.
Oh, he will in 5.
Oh, spoiler alert.
So,
Sorry.
right, because you said he's back in Bowie,
He's been
Arizona.
Bowie,
Which, by the
Arizona.
way,
We
on
drove
our,
by.
on our way back through from Colorado. We drove by, like, through basically Bowie, Arizona, and I was like, oh, Rambo's house.
So what I didn't realize is how early they set this up. And number 1, they say his nationality is I'm going to quote it. They say it's German and Indian,
Yeah.
which I'm assuming they mean Native American and not from
Correct.
India.
Correct.
Like
It is
just
1984
it's not,
or 3 or whatever.
It's
it
not
was.
the worst
2,
thing they could have said.
1, 0.
But in
Last
this
off.
one, when Victor Maitland gets some of his information, he's like, John Rambo, born, and he says his birthday. He's like, born in Bowie, Arizona.
By the
I
way,
was like,
his birthday,
oh, man.
his birthday, July 6th, 1 year after he was actually born.
Oh,
same birth
snap.
date.
So what year did it say he was born?
They said 47, I think,
And
he was
he's born in
46 in real
46.
life. But apparently in 4 or 5, it becomes December 4th, like 1970 or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
That
I don't know,
doesn't make
1950,
sense.
1950, sorry,
Oh,
not
it's
19.
like,
But either
your
way,
math
like,
does not add up.
why change his birthday? Like
Because they forgot in different directors and writers.
This will be released just a couple days before his birthday. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait.
That's
No, this will
be the
released
after.
July 8th. The
Oh,
first
okay.
one comes out July 1st.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Or came out
'Cause-
July 1st. Sorry, guys. Spoiler alert, we're recording these ahead
a
of
little.
time.
Once you see the sausage made, all you want to do is make
Hey,
sausage.
You could get a good look at a butcher by shoving your head up his ass, but would
Wait.
you rather take the bull's word for it?
Got to be your head.
That's gotta be your ass, or whatever he says. Yeah. So he tells him you'll get a second medal of Troutman's like, you're gonna get a second medal of honor for this. Give it to them. They're the ones who really deserve it. And then the bad rehash of the speech from the first one, but with no emotion. About like how soldiers, they need to feel like they're coming home and people need to stop fighting.
I think we
them or
said it, but
whatever.
he's like, I want my country to love me as much as I
Yes.
love it.
Yes, that's what it is. And then Q, as he walks away, and there's a freeze frame, which there was a freeze frame at the end of the first one, but it's when he's walking through the crowd of the cops.
Yeah, it's a better freeze frame,
But yeah,
and
it's
maybe
not
because the
stupid.
song Frank Stallone. It's-
Peace in Our Life by
it's
Frank
cheese.
Stallone. Dude, it is awful.
it
Frank
is
Stallone
graded
not
all
good.
over
Yeah.
it.
I think Frank Stallone only has work because of Sylvester Stallone, because he's got songs all over Staying Alive.
I think we talked about another episode, but he plays the bartender in Barfly, the Bukowski.
One for my friends.
One for You're gonna be one, you're gonna buy one. I'm gonna be one. Shot for all my friends.
There's also, I don't remember if it's a skit, a Chappelle skit or something, but it's everybody's brother. So you have Charlie Murphy, Frank Stallone, and you got like some other people's brothers that I can't think about, and I think they're playing poker or something.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think that was a Chappelle show because I've seen all those. And
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
I
I
don't
blacked
know.
one out, but it doesn't sound familiar.
Well, it could be from the third season.
That
doesn't count.
I still count that.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. It
Stopped
was
being
something
funny
I
when
saw.
Chappelle wasn't involved.
Very
I mean,
true.
I'm sure Neil Brennan was still helping write, which he does. He wrote everything with Dave Chappelle, but like Chappelle was
Oh,
gone. So
It
Yeah.
could have been one of those true TV things,
Oh, making fun of it though.
yeah, Like,
Well, I guess it's making fun of itself.
I would play poker with Charlie Murphy and Frank
Fuck yeah,
Stallone.
well, you can't
you
now.
have to say Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
Charlie Murphy.
He's
Well, yeah,
dead,
you
right?
can't now.
Rest in pictures, Charlie.
But I
Oh,
can
rest in
time travel.
pictures.
Yeah, well, can you?
Yeah. I just got to run 88 miles an hour.
Oh, man.
That's why I'll never do it.
It's possible. It's not for
That's
me.
the end of the movie. Credits. Peace in Our Life, which is a great song, I guess, to end the movie about murder with. This movie was the first movie. This was the beginning of
The end?
wide release. This was the first movie released in over 2,000 theaters in the United States at once.
And if I'm not wrong, made about 300 mil domestic.
I didn't end up
think.
looking that up, so I could believe it though.
I'm pretty sure the budget was up around 50,
Surprisingly,
which is
it did really well in like Southeast Asia.
That's
you would
shocking.
Think, yeah, you would think they'd be like, fuck you, man.
But I think
Right?
this is like, even though it is Russians, this is like kind of the beginning of the Russians and even Europeans loving American schlock.
yeah.
And he's giving these little one-liners, but they're not like Arnold Schwarzenegger cheesy. They're not Arnold doing fucking Mr. Freeze. This is Rambo saying things like, what did you had one earlier? You wrote a couple down. Where it's,
I don't remember anymore.
the only way
That was months
to win
ago.
a war is to become war.
Yeah.
Like there's plenty
Tough
of
guy
those.
lines.
Plenty of tough guy lines. Thank you.
We'll give credit to Margie Denicky, who did the Foley, because she was Whitney's favorite Foley artist of any movie ever.
Fucking.
She's using an actual bullwhip for the.
She was
bow and
actually just
arrow.
sitting in a studio going, boo, boo. That's what bows sound like, right?
We don't have time to correct it. Just put it in the fucking movie.
And I do have a fun fact. I told you earlier, Jack, no one will give a shit, but other movies that will be covered on here and have already been covered were made by a man named Charles Band, who's had a company called Empire Pictures. Also, Empire Pictures, Canon Films, a bunch of the
Canon's
80s,
a
like
much more of
schlock.
a known.
Yeah. Well, Empire only lasted like 3 years before this. So this bank, Credit Lyonnais, who funded all of the... Dino De Laurentiis was another big one, who's the guy that did like Army of Darkness and the original Dune and all that stuff. Credit Lyonnais also funded this. That was their thing. They were like, let's give money to these people to make terrible movies, but they're also infamously corrupt. So that's
That's cool.
and it all ties back to the show because Charles Band made Laser Blast, which we all loved.
There's like
Well,
a
you didn't have to
tiny
watch it.
version. I didn't have to. There's like a tiny version of a shitty Cabal on our show. Like, it's this brotherhood that's not that great. It's like the Illuminati, but naughty spelled different.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Brotherhood of Barf.
I said that very weirdly.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right, so Round the Horn. I would recommend it. It's definitely not as good as the first one, obviously, but it's still fun to watch. And this is actually Stallone's, when he was interviewed when 4 was coming out, he ranked this 4th. He said it was his least favorite because it was like watching a cartoon. I'm like, well, clearly you didn't see 4 yet.
Yeah, you haven't watched what you just did.
I think it's so far, I've watched 3 of them. I've seen 4 before, but that was years ago.
Yeah.
I have watched 3 of these, and this is my second favorite so far. So
I was down. I loved it. I mean, aside from, the Foley work, but the
One thing aside.
just the one. No, I was very entertained. I sat here. I didn't once pick up my phone.
Yep.
I was in it. I recommend.
I definitely recommend as well, and I think it might be a better movie than number 1 for a certain crowd. Because that one is a little more thoughtful, a little more pensive, and just dramatic.
well, this is a better
Schlock.
action movie.
Yeah.
Like capital action movie.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 is a better film.
Yeah.
That got heart behind it, and it's got a purpose, and it's got like meaning, and it meant something to somebody. This one
Is
goes
the
boom.
growth that came from it.
It go boom.
Yeah. So that being said, I recommend it as well. Just watch it, have fun. And to your point, like I at one point had to pause to go pee, and like normally I'm like, oh, what's it gonna be left? Oh shit, 50 minutes already passed.
Yeah.
That went fast. It was lock, stock, and all kinds of action.
If anybody out there uses, I've mentioned it before, but if anybody out there uses the app Letterboxd, follow me at Durka520. I will have my rankings of these going up as a list because you can do lists and rankings and everything.
Oh, nice.
So I'll have all the Rambo movies on there. I just won't be putting it out until I'm done, but you can see what I have to say on there, which is very similar to what I had to say on here. So, read that.
Read it instead of listening.
So next week will be Rambo 3, or if you look at the Blu-ray I have, Rambo: First Blood Part 3. I think it's just Rambo 3. On the film itself, it says Rambo 3.
Yeah.
The title is Rambo 3.
Yeah, they dropped that First Blood.
They needed to because there's no more First Blood.
Well, the First Blood can
Can't
always
call
be
it Middle
drawn.
Blood.
You know, somebody can always draw First Blood, but I think in this case, I think they took it out because he definitely is the one drawing First Blood. I mean, he's getting involved in someone else's war, but like, you know, America. So that's it for this week. Don't forget to check out Evasion. You know, they give us our music. Find them on Spotify and Bandcamp and Instagram and all that stuff. Go down to the moon on 4th and just give Patch money and don't tell him why.
We got fun things happening down at the brewery. If you go to Harbottle Brewing, you can sign up to enter in our Texas Hold'em tournament. It'll be on Sunday, July 30th. It is a $50 buy-in, and it does have to be cash because the bar has
Cash
nothing
money.
to do with the money. Nothing to do with the money. We aren't taking any of it. It's first place and second place winners. Only 15 seats. So the sooner you sign up, the sooner you have an assign, like you get your seat. And always $1 off your first pint.
And watch Rounders before you play.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'll have it on the TV.
I just watched that for the first time the other day, but I was drinking and talking the whole time, but it still seems
I will
entertaining.
splash the pot whenever the hell I want.
I never watched
I'll have
it.
the Maverick on one and Rounders on the other one.
I never watched it because blonde Matt Damon bothered me.
Yeah, but Ed
I just
Norton,
saw the cover and I was like,
Ed
nah.
Norton shouldn't bother you. John Malkovich, was it Teddy KGB?
KGB.
Yeah, boy.
he was good. He was good in that. That's one of the
boy.
only parts I really paid attention was when he was. on
I
screen.
love me some Malkovich.
Oh, who doesn't love Johnny Malk?
Love him.
That's it for this week. Tune in next week. Tune in last week. Keep tuning in. Make sure to tell your friends to listen. You know, force them to listen. Just keep sending them links until they click it. Just
You don't
spam
have
'em.
friends, make friends, and then tell them to listen.
Yeah, if you don't have friends, just go up to random people and tell them to listen.
Yeah.
If you want stickers, go into Arizona Beer House. Go see Derek or Jack. They got stickers for you.
Or send me an email and I'll fucking mail you a sticker if you send me an email.
There you go.
I'll mail you 10 stickers.
Woo!
That's it for this week. I have been Derek.
I have been Whitney.
I'm Jack.
Good night
And go fuck yourself.
Dude, it's like the fucking Aqua Teen Hunger Force neighbor. Fucking Carl. Willy Will, Willy Will.
I have a talented mouth. What can I say?
Who wrote Moon Rules #1 on my car with rocks?